tell us how you slew them old harems 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had knives and bows and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun. And you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Show your wife how you won medals up in Derry. You murdered 16 men and you'll do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra. Oh, come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders.
Buckingham Palace announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, Nelly. Whoa, 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 what's this? What's this? Big raid from Dan. Straight off the bat. But my fucking alerts still aren't working. No idea what's going on. I'm so sorry, I just started, Dan Heads. How are you doing, Dan? Thank you so much for the raid. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Hello. It's good to see you. This is what you should have seen when you raided in. This is the alert that you should have seen. Where is it? Hang on. He says, I'm a professional, don't worry. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Oh, it doesn't even show up in the rate. Oh, it's not even... I'm going to have to figure this out. I'm going to have to figure this out. The debate crew is here. Yeah, no comment. Anyway, this is what you should have seen. Check this out. It would have been like this. Imagine if where it says djmuel, it says Dan. I, Dan Simpson. And however many of you there were. Just imagine that. Right, there you go. Dan, thanks so much for the stream, the raid. Oh. Thanks, buddy. Everybody, please go follow Dan. He's great. He's great. How are you doing, buddy? How was your stream? What were you up to? Chat politics, all that kind of business, as per usual. I'm sure. Please go follow Dan. He's a great lad. He's a top lad. Hope you all had a great time over at Dan's stream. But I literally just started my stream. If you don't know me, my name is djmuel. I'm a leftist political streamer. I'm a housing activist. I'm bisexual. I don't know. What else do you want me to tell you about myself? I'm sure you'll all find out, won't you? As you stick around to watch my stream, because that's what you do, isn't it? When there's been a raid, you stick around and watch the whole stream. Yeah? And if you don't, well, then you just cringe, aren't you? Welcome in. How you doing? Obviously, go and do whatever you want. It's completely fine. And Dan, if you need to go shoot off, get yourself a snack, a food, whatever, sort your day out, go to the store, whatever it is you need to do after you stream, feel free to go and do it. No obligation to hang around, but I really appreciate the raid. Thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, let me say hi to everyone, just literally everyone. Steph, how you doing? Rashan, good to see you. Fighter Jet, thank you for the 60 months. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Chronic Overthinker, good to see you. Pat Potato, long time no see. Dungeon Sub Boss, hello. What's up, Ninny? How are you doing? Risk Adverse, good to see you. Sweet Beat, everybody go follow Sweet Beat as well. She's great. Really enjoy Sweet Beat's streams. She's really cool. There's a lot of gaming and stuff. Now, who do we got in as well? We got Middle-earth Marxist. We got Risk Adverse. We got Real Lan. How you doing, Real Lan? We got Glitter Snatched. Dan himself. Ally in HD. Mr. Dank, what's up? Magyar Guy, hello. Cherub Rag. Samiwa? Is that how you say that? Bulka S. Izyuminkoi. Alert got lost in the sauce and also Goblin Land. It's true. It's very true. Hello, Val. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Nace. You're imagining it. I'm glad that you were imagining the raid alert working properly, yeah. Covering Palestine, the University Intifada, and more. Yeah, very exciting stuff, innit? Very exciting stuff that's going on there. Yeah. The alert had Beardless Mule. Beardless Mule seems like ages ago. It very well might be coming back soon. You know, just try and imagine what my head actually looks like. I might keep the Tash. I've not decided. I might keep the Tash because I think, like, I don't know. The Tash would be pretty good on its own. Anyway, let's say hi to Vord. Gunman Master. Hello. How are you? Bit of a green thumb too. I do. I like gardening. I do. I've got strawberry. I planted some strawberries a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure I told the chatters. And they started sprouting today, so that's very nice. That's very exciting. Oh my god. Hey Remy Mon, how are you doing? Good to see you. My pleasure, Sweet Bee. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. Howdy from the US of A. Welcome in. Got a lot of American chatters, yeah. Yeah, used to have no beard in it, yeah. Well, I did have like a bit of a stubble. A little bit of stubble in it, you know what I mean? If you shave the middle, you could have 2 beards for the price of one. I couldn't I? Even though it cost nothing. It cost absolutely nothing to grow it. It was completely free. It's money and I have no work because no one's paying you. Chilling on Twitch and making drawings all for me. Hell yeah, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I'm feeling over the top as I just saw one of my fan comics got shown in a video essay and was described as being very cool hand-drawn art. They are very cool hand-drawn arts. I agree. You got 4 chickens, Gladys, Aretha, Ella, and Billy, and a cow, Stevie, on the farm now. Hell yeah. Let's go. I know you're meaning in Stardew Valley. But that would be cool if it was real life, eh? I'm a soft soil boy, it's true. Many people are saying this. Many people are saying this. Summer boy, look. That's what it's gonna be, yeah. Yeah, mule boy summer. Bisexual boy summer. Strawberries are my favorite fruit. How long you been growing them? This is my first attempt. I've never grown strawberries before. Yeah, I literally just had them in the pot in the soil for about a week or two. Just been keeping it, you know, nice and moist with the little spritzer every day. And they're sprouting now, so that's really exciting. They're just popping up. So we'll see how they go. It might be shit. But I don't know. We'll have to try it. Gardening's like an experiment. This is what my stepmom keeps telling me all the time. Excuse me. What else do I get? What else did I miss? Money well spent. think I know what you're referring to. It's been a while since we were talking about whatever it is you were chatting about. You got elected as head of association which upkeeps local community center and art gallery. Let's go. Let's go. Well done, Ninny. That sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty based. Pretty nice. Gonna try and grow things again soon. Got a little space for plants, and I think the most economical choice to grow is the angel's herb. Is that like... What is that, like weed? I don't know. The devil's lettuce, the angel's herb? I don't know. What is that? Queen Pip, how you doing? Welcome in, everybody. Please go follow Queen Pip. She's amazing. Hello, Vibrator 3000. You're late. No, you're a wizard. It's fine. You turn up whenever you want. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Sweet Bee says, I want to grow something, but I live in an apartment and I'm not sure what I should start with. Hoping you get a bunch of yummy fruit. Okay, Sweet Bee, I live in an apartment, yeah, and my view out of all of my windows is literally just like another apartment building that's about 10 meters across the road. Not if that. Yeah. So I've grown potatoes, tomato, and peppers, jalapeno peppers. I did grow some capsicum peppers, but it was not as successful. Well, they were all like not that successful, but it wasn't even to do with the fact that I was in an apartment. It was literally just because I had watered them too much, because that's kind of what happens when you're like a first-time gardener. You get like a little too excited and you overwater them, and then you get loads of fungus gnats, especially if you live in the UK. And so I had a load of fungus gnats, and that was bad. So that was not good. So I had to like dry them out, and then I didn't get too many fruits from the actual plants itself. But I did get some. I did get some fruits and veg. It did happen. But yeah, right now I'm growing potatoes. I'm growing tomatoes. I'm growing, like I say, I got like a tree, a little mini tree that's red lime. So yeah, you could do anything on your windowsill. It's literally fine. Just give it a go. Give it a go. I'm sure there's loads of stuff you could do. You just got to get big pots and put compost in, and then seeds, and then see what happens. There you go. A knowing look, they're vulnerable when small, especially to bacteria. Sterile water helps. You're on about little plant sprouts, yeah? I didn't know the UK was aware of jalapeno peppers. Yes, we are aware of jalapeno peppers. We do experience flavor, despite what some people may think. Ops destroy gardens in apartments sometimes. Wait, what? In the US? What? Just break in and just fuck up someone's windowsill garden? Mental. First time I tried to grow something, it was tomatoes in a pot. You got one fruit. Yeah, same. That's what happened. Well, I got a couple more. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get it like really flourishing. But you could do it. Also, hi Thazadar, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. What's up? My blueberry bush is on its 4th year and has so many more blueberries than last year. Oh, that's so good. I think that's a thing as well with other kinds of plants, right? That, you know, sometimes you'll have like a plant that you want to grow on your windowsill and it's all right. Like, you know, you might get like a couple of bits of fruit from it and then it dies in the winter and then you start again next year or whatever. But if you have like a perennial plant like a blueberry bush, you know, if it keeps growing like every year and you keep it alive and stuff like that, then yeah, it's going to get exponentially more and more stuff in it, right? I've heard examples of it in someone's yard. They spray pesticides on it, not pesticides, herbicides to kill the stuff. Yeah. Not great. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Yeah, potatoes are pretty hardy. Like, if you really want to grow potatoes, I bought these the other week. Hang on. I've not even fucking opened them yet. Unboxing live on stream. You want to get these things. Potato grow bags. That's what you're going to want to get. They're like £5, $5, whatever. Get them delivered on Amazon. And they're just like these little... Well, they're not little. They're massive, actually. But that's what you want, because you want like a big, deep fill pot for potatoes so that they can get loads of potatoes growing underneath them. It's just like what do you call it? Like a tarpaulin, isn't it? That's all it is. Just like that. One of them things. And it's got some holes in. Little bits of holes. That's actually kind of stressful for me because it's like, well, why are the holes there? If I'm watering it, surely I want the holes to be right in the bottom. That doesn't make any sense. Never mind. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I'm gonna have to figure something else out. There you go. Live unboxing on stream. Don't ever tell me that you don't get content on this channel. No one ever does that. No one ever complains. Literally get 0 complaints. So I don't know why I'm saying that. Johnny, welcome back. How you doing? Well, thank you for the 1 bit. Thank you for the 1 bit. Potatoes are so cheap. I never considered growing them. Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, to grow food, it's not necessarily like to save money. It's to, it's for the taste, really, you know? I could go on about plants all day. Definitely have too many. Well, I'm glad you put too many in quotation marks, because, yeah, you can't have too many, can you? No such thing. Drainage, but it lets there be a small reserve of water. Is that what you need with potato plants? Because they're very absorbent. Do you not need, like, a thing for the water to run out of? Concerning. That's concerning to me. Do you reckon you could grow peanuts in there too? Yeah, probably. Probably. Okay. All right.
Hello, me old chum.
Right. Updates from me. What have I been up to? Thanks for asking, chat. Well, so last week I had my hearing test on Tuesday. This is why I ended up not streaming, yeah? On Tuesday last week, I woke up dead early to go and get my hearing test. And I got, like, it passed with flying colours. The audiologist was like, you've got the best hearing for someone your age, so don't worry about it. She says, I don't know where your tinnitus is coming from, but it's not physical. It's probably more mental tinnitus. And essentially what that means is that I'm dead stressed, and so there's a ringing in my ears. Cool, great, fun for me. That's fun for me, isn't it? So, yeah, that's what that means. But I have noticed it sort of like coming and going, and it's been a lot better recently. So that's a good thing. But I got up super early. I got up at like 7 o'clock that day to go and do that appointment. And then later on at night, I had the GMTU committee meeting, and then we went for a solidarity pint afterwards. And everyone was in very high spirits because there's a lot of good stuff going on with the union right now. And what that means is that everybody was like, stay out. And so I did. And I had like 3 entire pints of Guinness, which is the most I've drank in like a long time, like a very, very long time. And yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, I had a fun time hanging out with the comrades and chatting and, you know, just talking about all kinds of stuff. You know, bits and pieces of drama, bits and pieces of activism stuff. You know, so that was really good. However, it meant that I was up very late and that I was very, very tired on Wednesday. So that was a bad idea. But it's whatever. It happened. And then on Thursday, I realized, oh shit, I've got a lot of stuff to do union-wise. And so I had to crack on with that. And so that's why I didn't stream on Thursday. And then, yeah, just took the rest of the week off because I just had to do, like, bits and pieces all over the shop. All over the fucking shop. But we're good now. We're back. We're back, baby. And I got some stuff to look at. So, what are we taking a look at today? Well, I got, like, a really funny clip of Joe Biden. And we're gonna watch that. And then we've got some other stuff. We got some stuff about some movements in Manchester. Some stuff from Kids of Colour. Some stuff about the University College campus protests. Sort of like the counter protest, the Israel Zionist counter protests. Some stuff about what the IDF is doing. And then we're going to check out the headlines with Big Amy. Just Johnny with the fiver.
Hi, yes, this is a reminder. You are currently live on Twitch, which should be subbed off and donated around.
It's true. Thank you so much, Johnny. Thank you for subbing off Twitch. Thank you for supporting the stream. You've just reminded me that I've got like an interim dono goal, yeah? Because we hit the dono goal for last month. And we did kind of say, well, what if there was a bit more in Mule's pocket for next month so that maybe he could take like an actual paid week off? What then, Liberal? So yeah, that's something that is going to be encouraged a little bit today and tomorrow, but no worries, no pressure whatsoever. If you'd rather save your money to like donate for next month instead, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Paid time off. Could you imagine? I know, yeah, for my actual job, which is streaming. So yeah, please consider doing the old donos and sub off Twitch, because yeah, Twitch is a shit platform. It doesn't deserve your money. Donate directly to my PayPal. I do appreciate it. There's all kinds of custom alerts that you can get, and consider that. But thank you so much, Johnny, for the $5. I really appreciate you, bud. So yeah, we're gonna be watching at some British stuff, some British nonsense, fascist nonsense, and also some landlord nonsense. Then we're gonna watch that you Gopnik video that I said we were going to watch last week, literally like a week ago. And then maybe some, a little bit of weird, esoteric, alien and ghost stuff. That's what we're going to be watching later. And we also got, there's like a weird guy that I found last week. The stealth camper guy, when we were watching that ghost show. Fire jet!
Sonic will never again be a pain in my egg!
Fire jet with the £10. Thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Sonic is dead. Sonic is dead. It's only fair since you're off today too. That's right. It's only fair. It's only fair. You got to think about the boy. You got to think about me. You got to think about the boy. You know? And listen, because we hit that, you don't got to worry. You don't got to worry about, donating to a certain amount today so that we can unlock the Tom Cam. Because as soon as he parks himself here on the cat tree, I'll be sticking the Tom Cam on because, we hit the dono goal this month. It's literally fine. Don't even stress. But he's not here at the moment, and I don't know why. Last thing that I could get, I guess I can, talk about. I wanted to mention this. These knockoff Aldi snacks. This one here is called Titan. You can see it here on the screen. Titan. Oh, shit! Thank you so much.
She yakety my sax until IACAB.
Steph, thank you so much for the 1312. Thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Chat. Be at the unofficial hype train. We're already at the unofficial hype train. Let's see some more donos. Let's see some more subbing off Twitch. VOD watchers, I gotta lose you already. I'm sorry. You're back in. We had a little bit of Scatman's World from Scatman John. Yeah, it always blows me away, actually, how based that tune actually is, like the lyrics and the stuff in the video, Anyway, listen, let's move on. Oh! She's in! She's in with the £20. Thank you so much. Sweet Beat, thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you for subbing off Twitch. My God. Jesus Christ. We're already at £53. £53 of the Mule Special Dono goal. My God. My God. Thank you so much. I'm going to have a proper relaxing week off next week where I just don't do anything. Literally just play video games all week, and that's going to be it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Blowing me away. Absolutely blowing me away. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for subbing off Twitch. Honestly, it really means the world. Right, so, where am I up to now? What are we doing? We're going to just start the stream, right? It'll be good for your tinnitus. Yeah, it will, actually. It will, actually. Less stress, you know? Maybe some of these lines will get a little smoother. I don't know. We'll see how... We'll see how that goes. Anyway. Let's crack on with the Twitter bullshit. We're gonna be taking a look at some absolute bullshit on Twitter. But the first thing that we're gonna take a look at is this absolutely bizarre video from Joe Biden. It's absolutely bizarre. I'm gonna just preface this with saying that, like, there's a bit of racism in here, and just in the other stuff that we're gonna look at, there's obviously Islamophobia, you know, stuff about Palestinian genocide and what have you. So just be mindful for that when we are discussing this today. But yeah, let's listen to what old Joey B's got to say when he was standing with the United Steelworkers Union a couple of weeks ago. I didn't play this for you already, did I, chat? You might have seen it already. You might have seen it already on someone else's stream. If you've been in Rob Rousseau's stream, you will have seen it. He was on Howard Stern last week, and I had no idea. It kind of shows how far Howard has fallen in terms of relevance. Yeah, well, that's a good thing, really, I think. Yeah, let's hear what he's got to say.
Back when D-Day occurred, and on Sunday, the next day, my mother's 4 brothers all went down to the recruiting station and joined the military. Every one of them volunteered.
Hey, Zelda.
My uncle, they called him Ambrose Brosey, they called him Bosey. My Uncle Bosey.
Uncle Bosey.
They told me when he was a kid. And he became an Army Air Corps before the Air Force came along. He flew those single-engine planes as reconnaissance over...
Look at everybody in the back. Look at all these fucking, like... these union workers, union representatives. I can't even understand him. Okay, I'll translate. What he's talking about is he's talking about the D-Day landings. And he's talking about how... He's talking about how his uncle and his older uncles, they all, like, the day after D-Day, they all, like, joined the army because they were like, yeah, we're gonna win the war or some shit, I don't know. And then he's talking about his Uncle Bosey, who became like a pilot. Uncle Bosey, electric candidate, in that he was alive when we invented electricity. That's right. At least one of them is dozing off, yeah. Is this the one where he reads the teleprompter's pause instruction? No, I don't know. Maybe. Could be. It's very difficult to understand what he's on about. Hey, Crystal, how you doing?
War zones. They got shot down in New Guinea, and they never found the body because there were a lot of cannibals for real.
What's that, buddy? What's that you said?
The body because there were a lot of cannibals for real in that part of New Guinea. And then my son volunteered to go to Iraq for a year, and he came back with stage 4 glioblastoma.
What is this? What is this next bit?
And then my son volunteered to go to Iraq for a year, and he came back with stage 4 glioblastoma.
Stage 4 glioblastoma? What is he talking about, man? Hey, Crasher. How you doing? Hey, Husker. Good to see you. Thought you said cannabis? No, he said cannibals. The important thing is that we ate Joe Biden's uncle or whoever he was, that being the style at the time, right? Literally.
And they gave, like many of you, risked your lives, and you know people who gave their lives to the country.
What? I actually don't know what he says there. I actually have no idea what he says here.
Many of you risked your lives, and you know people who gave their lives to the country.
Like many of you know, many of you risked your lives, and you know people who gave their lives for this country.
Heroes. But one of the things that as I was doing that today, I was reminded of what my opponent said in Paris not too long ago. They asked him to go visit American grave sites. He said no, he wouldn't do it because they were all suckers and losers.
Oh, he's talking about I don't even know if this is true. But it would probably be like the only base thing that Trump's ever said, right? No, I don't know. It's probably a cringe take, actually. Like people who fought, the Americans who fought in World War II were suckers and losers. But like, you know, I don't know. Donald Trump on his military abolitionist arc. Anyone who joins the military is an idiot. They shouldn't be fighting for their country when their country won't fight for them, etc., etc. Anyway. Hey Adnan, how you doing? More like DJ Jules. Bang, got him. Am I right, chat? Adnan's gonna make a 3-hour video about why I'm an abusive person and I'm bad and I'm wrong. Fair enough. Also, hi Goblin, Hugger. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. So bizarre. He's talking about what Trump said here. And people have said that like this isn't true and like Trump hasn't said this or whatever. Not that I care whether he said it or not, but yeah. But yeah, no, that's what he's saying here, right? He's saying like, remember my opponent, he's bad. He's bad.
I'm not making that up.
I'm not making that up, he says. Look at his face, man. I don't believe a thing this guy says, even if it is about Donald Trump.
Staff was listening, acknowledge it today. Suckers and losers. That man doesn't deserve.
Everyone is so uncomfortable.
I'm the Commander-in-Chief for my son.
Yeah, what is happening, man? What is even happening there at all? Anyway, let's have a look at the opposition. Let's have a look at the opposition and see what he's saying. At least this will be like a little bit more, lively.
The Union was saved by the immortal heroes at Gettysburg. Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable...
He was there. He was at the Battle of Gettysburg, wasn't he?
I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. And the statement of Robert E. Lee, who's no longer in favor. Did you ever notice that? No longer in favor.
Oh, that fucking timing, man. Like, he's just like... so much funnier. Like, when you look at Joe Biden, it's like, it's upsetting, right? It's like, it's actually upsetting. It's like, oh man, this guy's like pretty much on the way out, you know, it's whatever, but like, at least they're like, I don't know, they're shooting this guy up with coke or some shit in the back, you know what I mean? Like, they're giving him some like extra special drugs, and he's just dropping these fucking absolute bangers, like, no longer in favor. Do you notice that? Robert E. Lee, they don't like him.
The Union was saved.
Like, what is he talking about? What's he on about? You know? It's so bad. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't think they were immortal. I've seen their graves. They're wicked dead. Yeah, that's right. That's right. djmuel is a very troubled past. He stole his Dark Souls speedrun strat off a game fax written by a 12-year-old. Husker, how did you know that? How did you know that? Is that something that you remember, actually? Is that something that you remember? Because that is true, you know. Like, I did get, like, a pretty crap speedrun thing from, like... I don't think it was Game Facts, though. It might have been. Because I was that 12-year-old mule. No. No. Oscar, no. My God. Anyway, yeah.
By the immortal heroes at Gettysburg. Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable... I mean, it was...
It's hard to laugh since I live here and this is the best we get. No, the best that you can get is neither of these guys. Neither of these guys. And revolution, actually. Get out there, organize, unionize, do mutual aid, all that kind of stuff. You can do it. Only we can build dual power and save ourselves from the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie. Don't worry about it. It's all good. You could do it. I believe in you.
So much.
Lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff going on that we're going to talk about in a bit. You know?
Interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, wow.
Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. And the statement of Robert E. Lee, who's no longer in favor. Did you ever notice that? No longer in favor. Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost.
What's going on? What is he on about? It does feel like an AI parody. It doesn't feel real. Like, you know, everything, it's just... I'm, like, looking at this, and it's like... Paul Verhoeven, man. I watched the Paul Verhoeven movie at the weekend. I watched Immaculate, by the way, which is really good. Really liked it. If you like horror, if you like Paul Verhoeven, it's very good. It's got Sydney Sweeney in it, so you know it's not woke as well. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was really good. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. But everything that I'm seeing here is like, I just feel like I'm watching RoboCop. This is just like RoboCop, Starship Troopers shit right there. It's literally this. What is this?
Reason that you should be angry right now. I know you're angry, but go home, come home and get in our big bed. You can come into the master bedroom and lay with me in the big nice bed if you go home right now. Everything was stolen. You have every right to be violent, but don't be violent. I know that you're angry right now, but don't do karate chops and don't do spin kick and don't do punches or any of it, but do guns and do knives. But go home and come home with me. Listen, you are a special boy, and you're beautiful, and Daddy loves you very much. And your daddy loves you an extremely great deal. And if you go home right now, I promise you, you can have a Lego set. If you go home right now, we're going to, you know what, on the way home, for us to get in a big bed together, and we are going to watch SpongeBob movie. On the way home, we're going to stop by Target, and you can pick out a Lego set up to $30 this time. And everybody knows that $30 got you a pretty kick-ass Lego set in the 90s, okay? And I know it's a smaller Lego set these days, but it's at least a car, a spaceship, a vehicle with two minifigures, okay? $29.99 and not a penny more, but you can go and pick it out. You can pick out which one you want. And if you want to do two $15 Lego sets, that's fine with me. Sometimes it feels like you get more bang for your buck, but you're a very special boy.
You see, the reason that this is so good is because it's like, it goes on for so long, right? And that's what Trump speeches are like. They just go on rambling forever. Like, the content is obviously nonsense. I mean, he's referring to the January 6th stuff, I think. It must be, because 172 weeks ago, he's just got the rambling down pat. It's just absolute nonsense. And I do agree, Odnon. Yeah, if you've been around people who do nose candy, you never forget the sniffing sound that Trump makes constantly. Well, it's also how nasal his voice is, because his voice is incredibly nasal. And when you do coke, it fucks up all your fucking sinuses and all that kind of shit. So he's constantly having like a weird breath. He's got like weird breathy tones and stuff because of all that. And I used to do sniff a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I know exactly what it does. He's clearly doing a bunch of lines in the fucking back, you know. And I never want to be called a special boy in that voice ever again. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, just like this whole thing here is nuts, right? It's absolutely nuts. I hold the mute button down every time I do a sniffle on my show so I don't sound like Don Jr. But it's just so weird. It's got like fucking like Mike Lindell advert, the My Pillow guy over here with like, what is this? RSBN? What is this even like looking at? Where is this from? What is it? Like, it's so...
Lost his great general, and they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys, but it was too late. Union.
He's doing like a quote unquote impression of Robert E. Lee, but like, are there even any like sound recordings of him ever? I feel like all that stuff happened before sound recordings were like, you know, normalized, right? And everyone was doing them anyway. Let's take a little look at some more stuff. We're gonna skip this turf stuff because it's all from the CAZ report, whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna read this Red Sox Baseball Network. Robert E. Lee, if he was a pirate, yeah. If Trump's on snow, what's Mike Lindell on? Yeah, Tina, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. They call meth Tina, crystal meth Tina, Christina, in the States, right? Now I feel like I'm sounding like Trump. We're gonna read this statement from Kids of Color because this is some horrific stuff that happened in the UK recently. So we're gonna take a little look at this. We need you to read about these boys. Articles based on the prosecution's racist narrative will try and tell you who they are. We wanted to share some reflection and to link to the full text. Who are the 10 boys from our city found guilty by association? So, I will write in first person to put an organizational we wording on this. Feels more like more distance between you and the boys. I want everyone to see what I and others saw in these boys and what I know from their loved ones about them, even though this will be a limited reflection. We can't leave their names out there communicated to you by a media that holds hands with the prosecutor and the police. I'll start with those I know. Aid, I don't know where to begin, one of the most beautiful souls on this earth. His kindness and generosity with his love for people knows no bounds. A head boy at school, author of a book, published by Contact Theatre and the Agency, rugby player, older brother to 3 siblings, best friends to his parents, spent spare time involved in so many youth projects, wanting better for young people. Many may know him from being behind the desk at Spice Cabin, throwing in some wings for his friends. He'd sit at the back of our events and tell young people to keep pushing towards their dreams despite being young himself. A smile that's infectious, that when beaming forms dimples that bring pure joy. 6'2" and the most gentle of giants. We sat in court and he taught me how to play blackjack. He would help me win over and over again. The kind of boy to take the mick out of you but quickly let you know that you're loved. When he lost his friend John, he stood up at his book launch and spoke about him with beauty and bravery. He makes effort to always try and support his own well-being. So, in fact, instead of just reading this, I'm going to try and give you some context into what's happened, basically. And I think this is it. Yeah, so this is basically, if you don't know about the case, it's really fucked up, basically. It's about 10 black boys found guilty by association for harms that they didn't commit, basically. So if you don't know about guilty by association in the UK, I did a whole stream on prison abolition about a year ago. You can check that out on my VOD channel. It's a really important issue here in the UK, because it's just like, if you know someone who is like a victim of a crime, or you know someone who has like committed a crime and is convicted of committing a crime, you could just get put away by guilty by association, and it's completely fucking nonsense. And that's what Kids of Color basically like are talking about in this statement here, and it's because they've been prosecuted, basically. It's just completely fucked up, basically. So yeah, it's important to remember that like these lads are in prison You know, they're serving out sentences. It's just like so completely ridiculous. So anyway, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since this has happened. So we got some more writing here about Raymond. So here's some stuff about Raymond. Just writing his name brings a smile to my face. He's so very funny, cheeky, and a bit daft. You can't help but laugh around him because he makes you. His wit is quick, the kind that requires intelligence, but an intelligence I don't think he quite realizes he holds. He was excelling at a football academy, but sadly the academy folded. So he switched focus to education and continued his exams through his trial. I do not know how. Surrounding his funny persona is an astounding empathy. He would frequently check if I was okay. He noticed one of the boys was struggling a little. His efforts to check in on them were clear, but softly and quietly done. Aid told me that he and Raymond would call each other to talk and support one another. I said, hope you say, I love you, bro. He assured me that they did. I saw how fondly Raymond talks of his parents. Their unit is clearly one full of love. I know he misses his grandma in Italy, so I wish they could see each other. I already miss his questions about girls, relationships, and how to treat women. They gave us all great laughter. He said he hadn't felt truly happy since November the 5th, 2020, when their friend died. This response to grief is not fair. Omalade, I think that's how you say that. Cool guy, very cool guy, would momentarily think too cool to chat to me, but then there were moments alone when he would talk and share in a way that seemed so patiently and calmly reflective. Omalade is seemingly the fussiest eater and I like what I like type of guy. Everything was awful in theory until he tried it and then it was good. This always brought great amusement. A trip to a food place, he felt at one moment like it was going to be a complete no-no until the food was gone. But I get it. I think he loves his mum's food the most and cultured food, as he told me. He's a keen American footballer. His coach's statement said he would always be the first to calm the others down and stop any issues arising on the field. Fan of Lil Durk and many of the Lils, it seemed. He loves music. AirPods were glued into his ears. Raise your voice or else you're not getting past his beats. I've never felt more uncool than when I texted him to check out Kendrick's new album and he replied, I'm aware. Omo, the boy with beautiful hair, although us elders couldn't say that too much as I think it ruined the cool. No, Omalade, I'm not going to get you. I'm not getting you a taxi to go and get your hair done. His smile also glows and so does Raymond's and so do all their smiles. Azim, his university place was paused because of this case. He was clearly so intelligent, following in his father's footsteps. A love for computer science, the speed at which he was succeeding was impeccable during COVID-19. He worked alongside his family, who spent time in their community, ensuring people who were struggling were supported. His intelligence goes beyond academic intellect. He understands society, he understands racism. He's sharp, and his reflections on what was going on around him in education through the trial were sharp. He's a critical thinker. Azim loves gaming, an Elden Ring fan. 2 friends of his would come to court to support him. Seeing him there, supporting a friend, made me proud of the young people in our communities. Azim had just started living an independent life, something so exciting when young. One of his friends wrote to me, he's an amazing person and a friend. There for you no matter what. I'll never see him different, as in my hard days, he's the one I spend the most time with. The greatest friend I could ask for, I miss him so much already. The remaining boys I will say less as I don't know them personally, but I will reflect on what I saw and learned as they took the stand, and from what I've been told, Simon, if he's anything like his mother and grandmother, will be wonderful. They were able to come every day and made each day a little easier despite it being hard for them. Funny, warm, intelligent, soft. Simon was gentle when he took the stand. From what they would say about him, he sounds lovely. A core support to them, someone who does so much for them. Sadly, he was struggling with the loss of his friend. When Martin took the stand, I got that buzz you get from a young person that just has something. Martin again came across quick and critically smart, which from my short interactions with his parents made sense. The way he advocated for himself was remarkable, but also carried an energy and charisma. I really like him. I'm furious that adults exploited him. A lot of the lyrics he wrote were whilst he was serving time in a young offenders institute for another conviction. Supervised by an officer, he spent his time in a studio recording. He loves music, clearly. These lyrics were used later against him. Brooklyn. Now, when we're talking about you taking your chance to fight for yourself, he did just that. When Brooklyn finished, I wanted to applaud him. I'll be honest, I'm certain some prejudiced people would find Brooklyn's approach aggressive. I found it phenomenal. Those moments you look at a young person and think, my word, you are smarter than us all. He called out the prosecutor's nonsense. Some in the gallery said he could advocate for himself. He was clearly hurt by the loss of his friend and holding a lot. So yeah, you know, there's a lot to read through here, and you can finish the rest of it yourself. if you fancy it. But the reason that I wanted to draw attention to this is basically because, you know, it's something that we should all be thinking of as leftists, essentially. You know, literally 10 kids put away because their mate died, just found guilty because of essentially racism. It's a load of shit. Please support kids of colour, you know, in any way that you can. If you know people in Manchester, if you know people in the UK, shout about them, talk about them. It's been 2 years since this verdict now, and it's still just as, like, you know, it's just completely absurd. You know, so yeah, it's like one of these things to be very, like, mindful of when we're talking about racism and when we're talking about youth liberation and prison abolition in the UK. You know, we have to be mindful of the way in which people are simply demonized by being close to, you know, an absolutely tragic incident such as someone being killed, someone dying, kind of thing. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that real quick. Sorry if that was a little rambly and a little, you know, aside from what we talk about normally, but I think it's super important. Eye on Palestine. Let's take a little look at this. Israeli occupation soldiers are using explosive food cans to kill Palestinians. When they try and open it in light of the ongoing starvation and siege policy, these cans were left by the soldiers inside the bombed homes of their previously occupied in the CAZ Strip. Yeah, this is vile. This is completely fucking fucked. But standard Israel stuff, innit? Hey, Carpe Pax, how's it going? Welcome in. Everybody, please go and follow Carpe Pax. Top streamer, top lad. How are you? We got a little kid in Gaza here. Thanks to students. Stand with Gaza. Be a human. A lot of people in Gaza writing messages of support to the people on college campuses at the moment in the US, protesting the occupation and the destruction and genocide in Gaza. So on this one, this is completely fucked, right? This is completely fucked. So at the University College of LA, is that UCLA? Is that what it is? Los Angeles. Jonathan Greenblatt, the guy from the ADL, the president of the ADL, which is the Anti-Defamation League. The Anti-Defamation League, of course, their entire existence is to stop people from defaming Israel. But it's not defamation, because a lot of the things that people say about Israel is, you know, it's just true, isn't it? You know? So we got Jonathan Greenblatt here, and as Talia Jane points out, yeah, Zionists showed up with a jumbotron to talk about how unsafe and silenced they are on college campuses. Let's see if we can catch anything of what he's saying here.
Israel high. Say it with me. I'm Israel.
Okay, that's it. It's just like very, very impassioned. Not impassioned. What's the word? Like dispassioned? How would you describe that? Very fatigued attempt at doing a chant there. Am Yisrael Chai? That's like a Zionist chant, right? Which means that I am Israel or something like that. I don't know. Belabored, bland. I agree. Yeah, just very, very, very shit. I've just been laughing at vids of Zionist journalists getting so upset when no one will talk to them. Let's, you got a link to that, Gobs? I'd be happy to have a little watch of that. That'd be interesting. It's my bot not working in the YouTube chat. Hey, Alejandro, how you doing? Welcome in. Let me grab it from my Discord messages. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. Oh, no, it is working. Look at that. All right. The bot is working in the YouTube chat, so that's fine. So, that's it for the Twitter update, really. Let's take a look at some of the US and world headlines with Big Amy. It's Big Amy with the big news. Oh! This is fucking rapid. Let's see what they got for us.
All the craziness that's happening on...
Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this.
We've been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on college campuses, especially at UCLA. So I decided to come here for myself. Do you mind if I interview?
I'm not going to talk to media.
Excuse me, do you guys want to tell me what's going on here?
No, sorry. I'm not letting any media.
Damn, they're being really cool and doing really good OPSEC and not wanting to talk to like weird journalists who are dressed like fucking... Can we just talk about the drip for like a minute? Do you know what I mean? Like if I saw someone dressed like this coming towards me, I would be like, bro, how much are you on a year? Like, are you serious? Fucking hell, man. Like, they're doing good OPSEC, you know?
No, sorry.
They keep pointing at her media liaison.
Okay, we were just standing outside.
Oh, pointing her. They keep pointing her to the media liaison. Yeah. Same woman spoke at Washington, D.C. rally for Israel, which was headlined by Christian Zionist John Hagee, who claims Hitler was sent by God. Yeah. They kept telling her they wouldn't speak to her and referring to... Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm just trying to... Are we allowed to ask you guys a few questions about it? A lot of us just don't feel comfortable.
I can direct you to media liaison.
We're not gonna...
So did she not speak to the media liaison?
be with you today. Not gonna engage with people that are gonna be pushing us. Never seen anything like this in my life. No, agitators aren't allowed.
Talk to one of our media.
They won't speak to me. No one will speak to me.
There's a desk over there with media.
I've spoken to them. They won't speak to me.
Well, then we can try again.
I've tried, and this lady specifically is telling me I'm an agitator.
Don't engage with agitators.
She's sounding like she's getting agitated.
I'm just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak, and I don't know why you guys can't speak to me. And like, this is so intimidating and scary.
Zionist 101. Go to a place, right, and annoy people, and then get sad that they're like not cool with it, you know? So intimidating and scary, like...
Nice to be standing here. I literally have walked around for the past 2 hours just asking peaceful questions, like, what's going on here?
I'm just asking peaceful questions, bro. I have a right to defend myself. I have a right to... just go to the liaison. I feel so unsafe. I've come here to this protest. It's obvious what people are protesting about here, right? It's obvious, isn't it? That's what I'm saying, Nace. She put on a Hello Fellow Kids outfit. That's what I mean, and it looks like it's like really expensive, like Urban Outfitters kind of stuff. Yeah, there's no way that she was walking around for 2 hours. No way. I don't believe it for a second.
Why are you guys here? No,
not even remotely.
And you guys are laughing. I don't understand how this is funny.
Yeah, you don't understand how it's funny, do you? Yeah, what's more, this guy's just dressed like a cop, by the way. He's got like a Prada bag and like, he's got like this like cop hoodie on. You know? There was also the DRS that happened. Did you see that one? No. Send me clips. I'm happy to react to your clips. Let's take a look. Immediately moving for sympathy because she knows she's caught out. Yeah.
I genuinely wanted to learn from you, and I wish we could have ended in a hug. That's actually what I hoped from this. That's my...
What are you talking about? Who is this lady? Who is this lady? What is she on about? I wish it could have ended in a hug. Like, what do you mean, dude? What is she on about?
Dream from all of this, that we could understand each other.
That's my dream from all of this, that we can understand each other. I mean, like, okay, so what she's hoping that people understand is that she needs to be allowed to support a genocidal regime, right? That's essentially what she's hoping to get from this. Look, there's all this like information here. Innocence behind bars, CAZ Strip, all this stuff, yeah? All of this stuff.
I think we need more barricade, guys.
that was pretty good. Thanks, Gobs. All right, let's take a look at this one. What's this? Successful de-arrest at USC. The crowd surrounded police cars and forced them to release a detained organizer. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah, this happened in Manchester as well. Like a few months ago. Yeah, it is just possible to de-arrest people. Like, a lot of the times, cops arrest people because they can, and they don't, like... They just don't give a shit, you know what I mean? They don't actually have anything to charge them with, you know? Hey, Jokey DP, how you doing? Welcome in. And hello, Spooky. Real big, no one gave me candy energy? Yeah. Why won't anyone answer my hostile gotcha questions? Yeah. Yeah. First non-student related encampment just popped up in New Orleans. Great. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. If you missed Red Planet last night, I was talking a lot. We were talking a lot about how the university college campus stuff is super important. Because when you see students, young people, start to rise up against this kind of stuff, that's when real radical movements are born, and that's why we see. Well, it's not like the anti-Israel stuff is a radical movement being born, but it's gathering more and more momentum. Like the snowball's getting bigger as it's going down the mountain, right? I think that's why the police are coming down so hard on them as well, because in various revolutions all over the world, all over the imperial periphery, these kinds of revolutions actually start in universities. And, you know, who's surprised? You know, you go to university, you get educated, you learn that the world is a fuck, and that the imperial core is fucking people over all over the world. What else are you gonna do, right? Why is she so upset? It's narrative building that the protesters are unreasonable and rude and bullying. It's propaganda for her to be so upset. Yeah, that's what it is. But it's also completely unbelievable because none of those kids were being like horrible or nasty to her or anything like that. They were just like saying like normal stuff. Normal stuff. Like, nah, just go speak to our media liaison, you know? There's another post where someone said they had pamphlets with dense information. She just ignored them and basically demanded to speak to someone. Yeah. Yeah, they were just really polite, weren't they, you know? Polite and organized. And that's the end of it. Well, anyway, I wonder if Amy's going to talk more about any of the student protests. Let's see what she's got to say.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's in Saudi Arabia while Hamas has sent negotiators to Cairo as talks continue over a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of more hostages. On Sunday, President Biden spoke by phone with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. On Saturday, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called on the U.S. to halt Israel's planned attack on Rafah.
We hope that Israel stops doing this attack, and we call on the United States of America to ask Israel to not carry on this Rafah attack, because America is the only country able to prevent Israel from committing this crime.
Over the weekend, Israel repeatedly bombed areas of Rafah. In one attack, Israel killed 9 members of the same family, including a baby. On Friday, an Israeli airstrike on Gaza City killed the daughter and grandson of the prominent Palestinian poet Rafat El-Arir, who was killed in an Israeli airstrike in December. Shaima Rafat El-Arir died Friday, along with her husband and 2-month-old son. Shaima had recently written a message on Facebook addressed to her late father, writing, quote, "I have a beautiful news for you. I wish I could convey it to you while you are in front of me. I present to you your first grandchild. Do you know, my father, that you have become a grandfather?
So
this
sad.
This is your grandson, Abdurrahman, whom I have long imagined you carrying, but I never imagined that I would lose you early, even before you see him," she wrote. The website Electronic Intifada reports Shema Rafat al-Arir and her family were killed while sheltering in the building of Global Communities, an international relief charity.
Of course she was.
The United States made at least 275 arrests over the weekend as campus protests against Israel's assault on Gaza continue to spread. In Boston, police detained about 100 people after students set up a Palestine solidarity encampment on the campus of Northeastern University. The school just...
Like, this is why they're sending the stormtroopers in, chat. This is why they're sending the stormtroopers in. Because they know that once people see... Like, most people, right? Most people, even some conservatives, depending on what you see as conservative, like liberal, like, you know, whatever, you can see that what's going on in Gaza is wrong, right? You know, the people who are more to, like, the right of it are probably not thinking the same base things that we're thinking. Like, you know, we need to end Israel, like death to Israel, death to the state of Israel, you know, and like, you know, death to imperialism as a whole. But they are thinking like, yeah, it's a bit bad, right? It's a bit fucked up that they've done this and it should probably stop. So it's like, you know, overwhelmingly people worldwide are seeing like, yeah, you know, what's going on there is fucked. And then they see the people who are routinely being called snowflakes, woke lefty liberals, that, you know, they've never done a day's work in their life, they don't understand anything, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you know, standing up in solidarity with the big cause at the moment. You know, that it inspires people when you see young people, like some of the youngest people in our society, getting up and doing something. It's incredibly inspiring. And it could cause all kinds of ripple effects across communities when young people get together and they start doing stuff, you know, and you know, potentially some radical actions might come out of this, like mutual aid networks for the local neighborhood, local community. You know, they might start to organize various different apartment buildings into tenants unions or whatever. You know, all of this kind of stuff is like big momentum and radicalization stuff. So, you know, this is why it's so important to support it, and also why the state wants to crush it, and they just send in the bash stormtroopers straight away to just be like, right, you know, game over, put these kids away. What are we going to charge them with? I don't know. You know, just put them in the back of a van, hopefully it'll scare them. You know, beat the shit out of them.
Justified the raid, citing what it called virulent anti-Semitic slurs after someone chanted, "Kill the Jews," at the encampment. But video and eyewitness testimony revealed the anti-Semitic chant was actually done by a counter-protester.
Yeah, it was that guy. Like, you know, everyone's seen this, right, by now. This one guy who's like, you know, they're trying to start a chant. Not the counter protesters, but the protesters are trying to start a chant, and the counter protesters are just like, "Kill the Jews. That's what you want, right?" You know, and it's like, like desperately trying to like say it. That's what you really want, isn't it? That's what you really want. It's like, no, we're all sat here saying actually it's Israel that's bad. It's nothing to do with Jewish people. There are Jewish people on the in the protests. Like, come on, dude. Like, this is getting fucking old, right?
Are holding an Israeli flag. The group Huskies for a Free Palestine said, quote, "The only
been bringing more people out in the next day." That's right. When the cops are getting in.
Were Zionist counter-protesters attempting to instigate our peaceful encampment.
Huskies for a Free Palestine. What's the Huskies? Is that like their like sort of cute mascot thing at the university? I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is.
Despite this, the university exploited this moment to lie about our encampment and justify the brutal arrest of over 100 students, they said. In St. Louis, police arrested more than 80 people at a pro-Palestine encampment at Washington University. The arrested included Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein. At Arizona State University, police made around 70 arrests on Friday as they broke up an encampment on Alumni Lawn. At Indiana State University, state police arrested 33 people Friday as they broke up an encampment on the Bloomington campus. Despite the police crackdown, campus encampments continue to spread, including at CUNY, the City University of New York.
Today we have an encampment in City College, City University of New York, and we are demanding that CUNY divests and be transparent with the investment. And we are demanding that students, workers of CUNY cannot be harassed, cannot be doxxed for standing up for Palestine.
On Saturday, protesters rallied outside the White House Correspondents Association dinner in Washington, D.C. Protesters staged a die-in to honor the more than 140 journalists killed in Gaza during Israel's assault. Protesters screamed, "Shame on you," as journalists dressed in black tie attire entered the Washington Hilton. Code Pink co-founder Medea Benjamin was violently thrown out of the hotel as she attempted to hold up a sign reading, "100 members of the press killed in Gaza."
This lady's been getting about doing loads of this stuff. Loads and loads and loads of this stuff. Just like getting herself in meetings, talking about this stuff. Holding up signs and just like being like as peaceful and as, I guess, acceptable in terms of, when people talk about like peaceful and acceptable forms of protest, they're talking about this, right? They're talking about like a middle-aged lady going out to, something like this and being like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the thing. And then they just like fucking tackle it to the ground anyway.
Standing here quietly with this sign and got so roughed up by the security and thrown out of the hotel. It's quite ironic because tonight was all about press freedom, and it seems like standing here with the sign is something that's a lot worse than 100 journalists in Gaza being killed.
During his remarks at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, President Biden made no mention of Gaza, but he
oh man, like what did he mention?
repeatedly criticized Donald Trump, who he called Sleepy Don, after the former president repeatedly fell asleep during his criminal trial in
Oh, this fucking election shit is just getting stupider and stupider and stupider. I can't believe it, man.
New York. The U.S. State Department's decided against placing sanctions.
Hey, Bonbon
on the Israeli
C3PO, how are you?
Despite a finding that 3 Israeli units had committed, quote, gross human rights violations, unquote.
Whoa, what's this? What is this? U.S. State
Department's decided against placing sanctions on the Israeli military despite a finding that 3 Israeli units had committed, quote, gross human rights violations, unquote, against Palestinians in the
I'm so
West
surprised.
Prior to October 7th.
I'm so surprised,
Last week,
chat.
There were press reports that the Biden administration was preparing to impose sanctions on Netze Yehuda, an ultra-Orthodox Jewish battalion, but the administration has since reversed course. In other State Department news, Reuters is reporting.
Sorry, Bonbon C3PO, thank you for lurking while you work.
Have advised Secretary of State Blinken that Israel's not using U.S.-supplied weapons in accordance with international law. In a memo to Blinken, the officials cite the, quote, unconscionably high
You have to live in this shithole. Solidarity.
And Israel's, quote, killing humanitarian workers and journalists at an unprecedented rate, unquote. In related news, the New York Times reports the Israeli government fears the International Criminal Court may soon issue arrest warrants for senior Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Let's go!
Gaza.
Let's go! It's going to be, okay, right, if this happens, if there's like arrest warrants for Netanyahu, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, right? It's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens as a result of that. Like, is he going to get arrested? Highly doubt it, right? Highly doubt it. But, we're seeing a more, I guess, measured response in terms of public-facing sentiment from the USA, right? when it comes to Israel. Like, they're saying all this stuff, aren't they? They're saying like, oh no, yeah, well, we're having stern words with Bibi. We're having stern words with him, and we're telling him, oh, no, you naughty boy, you can't do that, because, you know, if they're saying all this stuff, you know, and they're abstaining from like a ceasefire vote and shit like that nowadays, it's like, okay, well, public pressure is working. It's slow. It's a lot of slow progress, but it is working to a degree. And on top of that, is it going to be a case of they'll just arrest him and then they'll just put like Ben Gvir in power instead? And that's just not going to mean it. Well, he's not going to be in power, is he? Because he's had a car crash or something. You know, inshallah, his pain ends very quickly. But, you know, like, they're just going to put like another rabid Zionist fascist in the position of prime minister anyway, right? That's all that's going to happen. But it's also going to be like, how much will other states surrounding Israel be emboldened by this to perhaps do more military action or whatever? You know, I saw something recently about like the Iron Dome being disabled. It was literally over the news this weekend, like maybe last night or the night before, and it was something about Hezbollah sent a bunch of rockets to Israel, and they all hit their targets because someone hacked the Iron Dome defense system. It might be bullshit, but oh, here we go. Yeah. No, I found it. Wait, what? Oh, three months ago this happened as well. Yeah, in January this happened too. Yeah, so they can do it. The West simply cannot produce enough anti-air missiles to keep up. Yeah, there's that too, right? There's that too. Mm-hmm. I know it's a big problem for Ukraine. I imagine it affects aid to Israel as well. Yeah. Defo. Yeah, there will be an element of that. Loads of different factors affecting it, right? Like, you know, to fund a war, you need so much stuff. You need so much production. You need so much everything. Yeah, it's just absolutely nonsense, isn't it? Just completely fucked.
Israel's blocking of humanitarian aid. Hamas officials could also face ICC arrest warrants over the attack on October 7th.
What? Why? What? Why? They were doing, you know, legit resistance. China even said they have the right to armed resistance. Oh, shut up, man.
Meanwhile, Israeli authorities arrested 7 people, including a number of rabbis and Jewish American peace activists who tried to bring aid into Gaza on Friday. We'll speak with the Israeli-American author Ayelet Waldman.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, Israeli authorities arrested 7 people, including a number of rabbis and Jewish American peace activists who tried to bring aid into Gaza on Friday. We'll speak with the Israeli-American author Ayelet Waldman and Rabbi Alyssa Wise.
Man.
Both were arrested Friday on the Gaza border.
Nuts.
Plans for a Freedom Flotilla to sail from Turkey to Gaza with 5,000 tons of life-saving aid have stalled after Guinea-Bissau decided to remove its flag from 2 of the vessels on the flotilla following pressure from Israel. We'll speak with an organizer of the flotilla after headlines.
What I need to know, yeah, what I need to know is what could Israel do to Guinea-Bissau? Like, what is Israel doing for Guinea-Bissau? Like, I just have absolutely no fucking idea. Like, take your flags off it, dude. Not that we needed another concrete example that Zionism and the Jewish faith are 2 separate entities, but there you go. Yeah, for real. Yeah.
from several villages in eastern Ukraine as Russia intensifies its attacks while Ukraine waits for a new shipment of arms from the United States. Over the weekend, Russian forces reportedly captured 2 villages in the Donetsk region. Russia has also ramped up attacks on Ukraine's railroad station in an attempt to disrupt weapons supply routes. In political news, Arizona Republicans have named an accused fake elector for Donald Trump as a National Committee member for the Republican National Committee. Arizona State Senator Jake Hoffman was indicted last week with 17 others in the plot to overturn President Biden's 2020 win in Arizona. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations launched a probe into the recent death of Frank Tyson, a 53-year-old black man who died after police pinned him to the ground inside a bar. Body cam video shows Tyson repeatedly said, "I can't breathe," but officers ignored his pleas as he lost consciousness. The body cam video shows police waited 5 minutes to check for his pulse, then another 3 minutes before CPR was started. One officer is heard joking, saying, quote, "I've always wanted to be in a bar fight. I don't know if this counts." Unquote. Frank Tyson died just 12 days after being released from 24 years in prison.
Fucking scum.
In Colorado, former paramedic Jeremy Cooper has been sentenced to 4 years of
Hey, Liz, what's going on?
months of work release after he was found guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the 2019 death of Elijah McClain, the 23-year-old black man who was walking home from the store when he was tackled by police, placed in a carotid hold, and later injected with ketamine. In March, another paramedic, Peter...
You know, it's just injected with ketamine. Like, flood the fucking system with ketamine. You can OD on ketamine super easy. Super easy. You know.
Kuchiniak was sentenced to 5 years in prison for his role in McClain's death. And in Australia, thousands of people took to the streets in nationwide protests demanding an end to gender-based violence. The rallies come amidst a wave of violent crimes against women, including a mass stabbing in Sydney earlier this month, where 5 out of the 6 fatal victims were women. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese addressed the crowd, calling the situation a national crisis and an epidemic. This is Natalie, one of the demonstrators.
I think the government needs to declare this devastating thing that's happening to women as a national emergency. Enough women have died, 26, and it's really, really upsetting. I think we're human. We shouldn't be getting killed.
And those are some of the headlines. This is...
Is this like a massive problem in Australia? Mass stabbings against women. Like, being an incel is just like mad popular down under. Is that true?
Stabbing in Sydney earlier this month, where 5 out of the 6 fatal victims were women. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese addressed the crowd, calling the situation a national crisis and an epidemic. This is Natalie, one of the demonstrators.
I think the government needs to declare this devastating thing that's happening to women as a national emergency. Enough women have died, 26, and it's really, really upsetting. I think we're human. We shouldn't be getting killed.
And those are some of the headlines. This
is injecting ketamine something cops do regularly as like a sedative? I don't know. Good question. Weirdly enough, it's a positive example of Australia's gun ban working. Right, exactly. Could have been more, for sure. Could have been a lot more, for sure, right? Thank you very much, Amy. Appreciate that. Appreciate the news update. There we go. All right, we've done the headlines, chat. We got through it. All right, it's time for some British stuff. So, you know, content warning for Britain. Let's take a look at some of the UK candidates for election.
Well, independent candidate Count Binface isn't new to the election campaign. He got nearly 25,000 votes in 2021. Here's his pitch.
My name is Count Binface, intergalactic space warrior, CFAX fan, and I'm running for London Mayor. I'm supposed to be the exotic novelty candidate, but then I looked at the alternatives and now I'm not so sure. Why am I standing? Well, to celebrate and defend British democracy, including the right we all have to stand for election, no matter how idiotic the get-up. Don't worry, I'm not naming names. But I'm not just a pretty face, I also have the best manifesto, including price capping croissants, renaming London Bridge after Phoebe Waller, and here's a new one, making Thames water bosses take a dip in the Thames to see how they like it. Unlike some high-profile figures,
These are some pretty good policies. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Mule doesn't have to clip, but yeah, paramedics have been injecting arrested people with sedatives, and it has predictable results. Yeah. Yeah. Yes and no. It's the same issues with violence against women as everywhere, but the media in Australia can use it against a Labour government, so it runs hard with it because it's true. They don't actually give a shit about domestic violence, but neither do the media. Right, okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I was able to fill out the application form correctly, and I want to bring that kind of detail to City Hall. Last time I came 9th out of 20 candidates, and this time I'm gunning for a Champions League spot minimum. So join me, and together, let's make the 2nd of May Independence Day.
Hell yeah. I'm down.
That was independent candidate Count Binface, and we'll...
Thanks, Count Binface. Let's go. I'll be voting for him. I can't because I don't live in London. All right, we got some more British stuff. We got some Double Down news.
And politicians don't want you to know exist, but there are thousands of us. And I'm the wrong kind of Jew that the media and politicians don't want you to know exist, but there are thousands of us, and we're here saying not in our name. When you see the coverage of all these demonstrations and things, you get the impression that no Jews are involved, that Jews are fearful, Jews hate what's going on. No, it's not true. There's hundreds of us here today. There have been thousands of Jews in this country alone taking the side of the Palestinians against the Israeli state. All over the world, there must be hundreds of thousands of Jewish people who are now saying, not in my name. One of the most ridiculous things that we've had to deal with, particularly in the last week or so, is the idea that the police are enforcing a no-go zone for Jews in order to defend...
No-go zones mentioned, chat. Remember that? No-go zones? Remember how that white guy was going around saying that there are no-go zones for white people in Birmingham, and then found that he as a white person could go round all those zones, and the only person that was horrible to him was another white guy? Remember that? But now, actually, the police are saying, no, these are no-go zones for Jewish people. Weird that, isn't it?
Defend all these hate marchers, people who are supporters of terrorism. It's almost the reversal of the truth. We are saying, along with most sensible people around the world, that everybody, Palestinians included, deserve to be free wherever they live, including between the river Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea.
He's been to your city? He's probably been to like most cities, innit? We're probably going to watch some more of that guy this week, not going to lie.
Say, but as a Jew, are you not frightened? Are you not subjected to assaults and threats and abuse? And I say, well, actually, I do feel threatened, abused, negated, silenced, cancelled, because when it comes to the media seeking Jewish opinion about what's going on, they go to the Board of Deputies of British Jews, or the Chief Rabbi, or the Jewish Labour Movement, or, heaven forfend, the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism. All these groups which have support for Israel sort of ingrained in their whole agenda and their whole raison d'etre. If there is hatred and abuse directed at Jews, it's often coming from people of the Zionist perspective against...
Damn, she's right. She's right, and she should say it. You know? Very, very true.
Anti-Zionist Jews like me. People need to take on board the fact that there are elders in the Jewish community. Many of them are Holocaust survivors and also the descendants of Holocaust survivors who have been present on these demonstrations, given fantastic interviews themselves, explaining why, as victims of a past genocide,
cool Nana, innit?
They will not tolerate an ongoing
Big up, Nan.
genocide that the world is witnessing in real time. It is so dangerous and divisive, the way this so-called conflict has been portrayed.
Ah, you live in Bradford,
taking
right?
the Israeli
Gotcha.
line, calling it the Israel-Hamas war, when this is clearly a war against the entire Palestinian people. Collective punishment, ethnic cleansing, plausible genocide. And there is nothing religious about this war. It is a war of settler colonialism against an occupied people. One of the little rays of hope in the current situation, and it's getting bigger, it's getting wider, it's getting brighter, is the growth of opposition to what Israel is doing. And
it is growing, she's right, it is growing.
Swathes of young people, look at what's happening in American campuses, and of course among the many young people who are coming out and saying not in our name and we won't tolerate it, and trying to shut down arms factories and calling for an arms embargo, are many, many young Jewish people. I've met a youngster today who's never been on a demonstration before. He's got family in Israel, and gradually he's managed to sort of feel empowered enough, feel confident enough that he has to come and speak out alongside all these other people who are demonstrating for just peace and justice, really. It's not rocket science, is it? Over the last few weeks and months, we have seen once again
excuse
that
me.
our media...
Okay, yeah, Double Down News. Kind of support them, kind of don't, because they keep using fucking AI art in their thumbnails, so pretty cringe. Leave them a comment. Tell them how cringe it is that they use AI art in their thumbnails. That's what I'd say. So there you go. Some pretty good stuff there. Let's take a look at some more absolutely insane British stuff. Like, she was pretty cool. But let's take a little look at what Politics Joe saw over at the anti-ULEZ anti-ULEZ demonstration. So what is ULEZ? Ultra low emission zones in London. I know, yeah, just use a screenshot from your video. It's not hard. It takes 2 minutes to mock up a thumbnail. I should know because I do it on my fucking VOD channel all the time. It's just like take a screenshot of your video, copy and paste it. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. All right, let's take a look at these fucking anti-ULEZ weirdos in London, see what they got to say. My man wearing a V for Vendetta mask. What's the betting that he's ever read that book? Ever read that comic or watched that film? Probably not, has he?
Obviously, for me, it doesn't really affect me as in my car, because my car is compliant.
Because we are not in the lab. We are human beings in the outside world.
I have literally had grown men crying in my therapy practice because they have non-compliant vans.
Oh, dude, I can't. Yeah, it's a good job they're in therapy. It's a good job. It's a good job you're there for them. I've had grown, like, just trying to, like, it's like, oh, my van is non-compliant and I can't, like, park in the city centre anymore. I've got to pay, like, a bit more, you know, if I want to drive there. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, come on.
All these cameras were always going to be for the police. It's for surveillance.
Sorry, is that an order? She's a liar and you're a tourist. Yeah, lovely.
If we want to get to net zero, people need to use public transport more.
Especially if you believe.
So these guys were like demonstrating on the same weekend that there was a Palestine march. What do you think's gonna happen, man?
But there's a climate change.
I'm here in Trafalgar Square at the last anti-ULEZ protest before the London mayor elections. The backlash against ULEZ since its expansion has been unbelievable, and it's become the defining issue of this mayor election.
Like, look at the state. Like, you could just see already, right? They've got like an ancient fire engine. You see this kind of wooden fire engine shit? You think that the kind of person who owns this is really like your everyday working class person? Do you know what I mean? It's not. They're all like petty bourgeois. You know, they own like mom and pop businesses, that kind of stuff. Like a guy that like, he's a plumber and he earns like a load of money, but he still pretends he's working class. Do you know what I mean? It's like this, like literally got like an ancient, what do you call this? An antique. They got a fucking antique fire engine out to this protest.
Expansion has been unbelievable, and it's become the defining issue of this mayor election. Sadiq Khan's
like a vintage vehicle rally, innit?
wants to scrap it on day one. Sadiq Khan has called Susan Hall the most dangerous opponent he's faced.
They got like a bus. They got like a London red bus.
Do you regret supporting Donald Trump, who's a racist, sexist, and homophobe? Do you regret liking Enoch Powell? Do you regret liking Lee Anderson, the Islamophobe? Will you apologise unequivocally for having those sorts of views and promise to be a mayor if you win that unites communities rather than your record of dividing them?
I'm here to see why people feel so strongly about you, Les, and what they really think about Sadiq Khan.
Maybe it's because
Like, this stuff is so, like, it's all recouped, right? It's all recouped leftist language. These conservative older people who are, they've got no personality, they've got no community, you know, outside of their, like, you know, posh London suburb where they pay like fucking, you know, thousands of pounds, but they've got the money to do it in mortgages and shit like that. And like all they really fucking care about is the fact that they're losing like an extra, I don't know, maybe they earn like £5,000 a month and they're gonna lose like £1,000 a month in work or something like that. I don't know. Oh, and maybe just like have less avocado toast, bro. You know, they have like absolutely no. Well, it's not necessarily co-opted. It's recuperated because it's like, you know, blood on your hands is just like they're not talking about Palestine, are they? That would be co-option if they were like trying to be pro-Palestinian whilst also talking about the ULEZ. This is recuperation. This is like trying to imply that like people are gonna die. People are gonna die because they have to pay more money. They have to pay more money to like park their expensive vans in London city centre. Like London city centre, it's just, oh dude, I just can't.
I'm a Londoner that I want rid of. Maybe it's because.
Oh, and they're all wearing these really embarrassing fucking Blade Runner outfits. Like, okay, they call the people who there's like a set of, and they're like tradies, but they're tradies who have a lot of money, right? They're not just like your average person who might be an apprentice, or maybe they're just like not quite interested in you know, making a load of money and having staff and expanding their business or whatever. Like, you know, they're not those kinds of tradies, but like they're all tradies with a bit of money, you know, a bit of clout. They, you know, they own their own house and shit like that. And they're just literally like trying to say that they're Blade Runners. You know, Blade Runners, where if you look at like the Ridley Scott film, Blade Runner is basically like a slave catcher. Like that's what a Blade Runner is. Like what's his face, Harrison Ford's character in that film is like a slave catcher. Like that's what he is, and they're calling themselves Blade Runners. It's just this absolutely cringe. It is incoherent. Hey, Sleepy Catherite, no Star Trek for Khan reference. These cunts wouldn't, if these cunts watched a fucking episode of Star Trek, they'd be like, this is woke, lefty, liberal nonsense. Yeah, Deckard. No, I know, yeah, Harrison Ford's character, Deckard, yeah. Hey, Lost Futures, how you doing? Good to see you.
Because I'm a Londoner, I can't drive for free wherever I go.
Yeah, malfunctioning slaves because they have emotions, yeah.
The cameras down swiftly and vote for Susan Hall.
Oh my god, dude.
Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner that I want ULEZ gone.
Woo! You now have the ULEZettes. We started this to oppose the bringing in of ULEZ initially. But we couldn't stop it on the 23rd of August. Was it the 29th of August? It was brought in to the whole of London. Yeah. We tried to stop that expansion.
It's a struggle over the right to admit, yeah. Petite bourgeois reaction, that's literally what it is. ULEZettes? Wait, did I miss that? Is that what they're calling themselves?
Obviously, for me, it doesn't really affect me as in my car, because my car is compliant. Obviously, for me, it doesn't really affect me as in my car, because my car is compliant.
Oh, based class traitor, this guy who is in the class of, I can afford a car that is compliant, so, you know, whatever, I just did it. But I'm gonna stand up for the little guys who definitely could afford to, like, part exchange their car for a compliant car, and but they just won't. I'm gonna stand up for them.
But the thing is, there is a thing on TfL website called Project Detour, which is a pay per mile charge.
We had a non-compliant car. We had to spend a load of money buying a car.
He's doing my voice. He's doing my voice. There's a real guy out there who's talking like me when I do the impression of a guy like him, and it's him. It's literally him. Let's hear what he's got to say from the beginning. This is important, chat.
Charge.
We had a non-compliant car. We had to spend a load of money buying a car that we didn't need, and quite frankly couldn't afford in the middle of a cost of living crisis, and it's really broken us financially.
Really? So my issue is that...
Okay, dude. I'm gonna be fucking real. I'm gonna be fucking real. If you can afford to get another car, yeah, you're not actually that affected by the cost of living crisis, yeah. Try no car. Right? Try zero car. Try bike that you can't even afford to repair, yeah? Try that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if you've considered those options. He knew that I was watching, didn't he? He knew it was going to happen. We've seen any actual working class people affected by this yet? No. Get a cargo bike, it's cheaper, you can carry stuff around. Yeah, literally, yeah. Literally. Nonsense. I had to buy another car and it was really hard and I didn't want to do it and I still sold my old car for another one and it was... Oh, I didn't get that much money for it, but I did and I was able to and it wasn't that stressful because I've just got the money to do it. La, 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 la. Shut up, bro.
If he brings that in, even though he said he isn't going to bring it in, everyone's going to have to pay.
We've actually been looking at the air quality since the USB expanded and beforehand, and it's made virtually no difference at all. Because these PM2.5 readings are total utter nonsense. And here we go, got 11.9 millimetre just here.
For the layman, could you explain what that number means?
Right, that number, basically, PMs, right, is particulate matter. That means anything in the air. It could be dust.
Bro, you know what that 11.9 is counting? It's counting all the COVID particles that are in the air. That's what that is. That's what's going on right there. My man's like, it's not made any difference. What are you talking about? It's not. You stopped the brought the ULEZ in. It's not made a difference. It's probably just all the COVID, bro. All these guys, every single one of these people is like an anti-masker. Every single one of them loves, like, you know, Facebook QAnon pages, all that fucking nonsense. That Fawkes mask was too small for his face. It was, yeah. The gammon was really like, you know, it was really shining against that white, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Like these guys love to talk about how white they are and like how Britain needs to stay white and all this kind of stuff. But they're just like the reddest cunts imaginable, aren't they? You know? I think cars should be banned inside cities. I think cars should be banned in general. You know? Except for disabled people. Until we make cities walkable, you know? I think only disabled people who literally like can't walk, have mobility issues should be allowed cars, you know?
It could be cigarette smoke, it could be anything. Pollen, tree pollen, raindrops, rain. So, we have some fairly damp weather. It's sort of bouncing up and down a bit, so...
It just went up to 23! It just doubled! I don't know, bro. I'm gonna be real. I think you either don't know how to work that advice, or... Sorry, you don't know how to work that device, or... you know, you got a shit one off Amazon for like £2 or whatever.
This PM2.5's limit of the old limit of 10 and the current limit of 5 is complete and utter nonsense because we are not in a lab. We are human beings in the outside world.
You know,
incoherent. I don't know what that guy's point was at all. Like, even remotely. Nuts. Hey, sir, goosebumps. Yeah, he just literally admitted it counts stuff like pollen. How is it supposed to detect air quality? Yeah, it's just nonsense.
It would be nice if 45,000 members that are on the site turned up. The last protest...
It's like TERFs getting mad that like not enough people come to their rallies because they got so many like sock accounts and fake accounts and bots and shit like that inflating their numbers, and they're like, why aren't all the people who agree with us here? Like, what are they doing? It's like they don't exist, bro. Like, what are you talking about? They're not real. They're not real. I bet like 30,000 of those people are like in America or in Europe or somewhere else in the world. You know what I mean? Like they're like, they're not even in London. They're just like in Africa, or they're in like China or somewhere, you know.
It's our last push to get Susan Hall in. We need to get Khan out. He's not helping the situation. He's not for London. Sorry. He might have been born here, but he's not for London.
Why do you say that?
The police are taken off the streets. Right.
Who did that? Who did that, lady? Who took the police off the streets, lady? Was it Sadiq Khan? Because I think you'll find Sadiq Khan actually like... oh, no, wait. I'm thinking of Andy Burnham. Hang on. Sadiq Khan, police investment. I'm not even fucking typing it. I'm literally not typing anything anywhere. Sadiq Khan, police investment. Well, that's what they're going to be talking about. Just deport him to Rwanda. They'll be saying shit like that, right? What wine does she pair with boot leather? It's imported 15-minute cities hysteria. Yeah, it really is. It really is, yeah. Excuse me. Sadiq Khan pledges to invest 7.8 million to help young Londoners avoid crime. Tackling complex causes of crime if he's re-elected as mayor. Yeah, so he's going to give, like, money to the police if he gets re-elected. So he's going to do that. That's one thing that you've just said that he's actually going to do.
Right? I think there should be more police officers. There's more knife crime.
But there's not, though. Everyone is like, okay, so you don't live in London. You just admitted to absolutely everyone that you don't live in London. And that's just a fact. Because if you live in London, you would know that the amount of knife crime that exists has not changed in like the last fucking 10 years. It keeps coming back because it's a racist dog whistle. That's what it is. It's a racist dog whistle. They're just trying to be like, there's more immigrants and they're all in gangs and they're all killing each other and they're killing white people and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like... Complaints over 15-minute cities is just them being okay with work and poor people having long wait times for emergency services, yeah.
You know, he's all for promoting himself. And when it all boils down to it, charging working class people £12.50 every time you...
You are not working class, dog. You are not working class. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Working class people are more concerned with fucking... Like, this is what it all is. It's petty bourgeois nonsense. It's petty bourgeois fucking nonsense. These people are all, like, small business owners. Innit? You know what I mean? None of them are fucking struggling, even remotely. If you've got the energy, if your biggest concern is I won't be able to drive my car through London, you're already more wealthy than I'm gonna say like 60% of London, 65 to 70% of London. Like I don't know what you're fucking talking about. People with cars. Nonsense, man. Also, like, what I don't understand is, like, is anyone here from London? Is anyone in the chat from London, like, lives in London? Do you know what it's like to drive through London in a car? when my younger stepbrother was still talking to me and I went down there years ago, we drove through London and it was the longest fucking drive of all time. It was so stressful. It was so shit. Might as well have just got the tube in it. You know what I mean? Hey Gianna, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, you know what it's like in London. Like it's not fun to drive. It's not like an enjoyable experience. If anything, like if I had a car and I lived in like a London suburb or whatever, I'd be like, do you know what? That would be it's probably a good time. Like get rid of the car, save a bit of money, and I'll just start using public transport, right? Unless you absolutely hate working class people, because those are the people that you see on public transport. You know?
Take your car off the drive. That's not right, is it?
See, to my understanding, Project Detroit was the consolidation of the congestion charge, ULEZ charges, into one kind of like simple payment system, and that's the end. To my understanding, that's what it is. It doesn't sound that threatening.
No, but if you go on the TfL website,
I have done. I've read it.
Every car will pay by 2025.
So say ULEZ still exists, but
every car. Even if they're not in London, every car.
Then you come up with, they expand the tube massively and things like that. And
I know, imagine having a driveway, chat. Imagine having a fucking driveway. Tom, have you got a driveway? Have you got a driveway? Come on, come up here. Come and say hi. Trying to get him to jump up on the tree. Not seeming that interested in it. Streets also get small in London, yeah. My family had 2 driveways. Well, you're American, aren't you? You're in America. That's different. That's different. In the UK, it's like so rare to have a drive. Here he is. Oh my God. It's Tommy Twos. He's right there. Are you there? Yeah. Big yawn. All right, we got the boy.
Great. So people, because obviously this, I think part of the issue is people who live out in Zone 7, say, they need their cars to commute with. Don't worry, to commute within Zone 7. But say they introduce like expanded public transport massively. Would you support that?
Public transport, yes. But if you're a plumber, love, how can you take your item, just your plumbing things, you've gone to pick.
Right, listen. I can't fucking stand this shit. Yeah? This fucking clown has got the audacity to be like, if you're a plumber, how are you going to take all your stuff to do a job in the city of London? Right, I live in Manchester, right? Manchester is not London. Yeah, it doesn't have the same reputation it used to years ago, but loads and loads and loads of people. No, I don't think she's a fucking plumber at all. This is why I think that what she's saying is so fucking disconnected, right? So disconnected. When I've had plumbing problems at this fucking gaff, and I've tried to get the landlord to do it, and he's like, no, you sort it out, just give me the bill or whatever. Like, I've tried to phone people, and they've just been like, I won't come to town. Right? They don't come to fucking city centres because they're like, what if I get my tools nicked? Do you know what I mean? They just don't come anyway. It's nothing to do with the ULEZ shit. Pay the ULEZ fine as a business expense or get a cargo bike to carry stuff, right? Exactly. My God. My family also had a 3,500 square foot house and a garden with trees in it. Eventually, I learned we were not working class, despite my family claiming to be my entire life. I think privileged people want to be working class. It's weird. Well, it's because people are desperate to not like admit that they have a privilege over other people in society, right? It's the same reason that like white people will all most white people will be like, I'm not racist. I have black friends, right? Because like but they'll say the most racist shit in the next sentence kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? People do not want to admit their privilege. People do not want to admit their, you know, it's easier to admit that you're like working class, like if you're privileged, if you're not working class, if you're middle class, if you're, you know, just absurdly privileged or whatever, right? My dad did work. His physical labor and actual material reality were in dissonance. Yeah. That's it. Like, yeah, it's not fun being working class, right? And if I ever got into a position where I was earning enough money where I could call myself middle class, I would still be a class traitor. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, I just have no fucking clue how people can just like, after a life of working your fucking ass off, trying to get dough and all this kind of stuff, people would just be like, yeah, well, I'm all right. I've got me. It's like so cringe. Wondering if this video will actually show people affected by this, as in really affected. Well, no, because these are the only people that are affected by this. Because the ULEZ is like, if you're like not a taxi or a bus or some kind of public transport or a bike or whatever, like you have to pay a fine if you're, you know, if your vehicle is not at a standard where it has low emissions, right? Because we want to do green policies and stuff like that. Like it's a decent policy. It's not a perfect policy, but it's a decent policy. And these are the people that are affected, because the people that are affected by this, like, you know, in terms of like the people who should be stopping doing it, it's definitely this lot. But all they're concerned about, they're not concerned about actually like plumbers coming and doing jobs or whatever. If you're a plumber and you've got a van, you could just get a compliant van. Do you know what I mean? You'll be earning enough money to just like get a compliant van, right? That's literally it, yeah? No, it's not a parking thing. Hey, Pitsy, how you doing? These fuckers are just like they're concerned with the fact they won't be able to drive their massive SUV into London to do some shopping at the weekend. That's what they're concerned about. It's nothing to do with like anything other than that. That's all it is. They're just pissed off that their big, massive, gas-guzzling SUV can't drive on the London roads anymore. That's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to just put that on the bus or the tube.
Yeah.
It's just not feasible.
No.
Also known recently that has proposed £2 pay per mile.
Sadiq says he's not doing pay per mile.
Correct. He denies it, but can you trust him? He said would not expand the ULEZ, and look what happened.
It's not an issue for the renter class. The only issue that there is regarding this for the renter class is the emissions that are caused by people driving their massive fucking SUVs into city centres is destroying people's lungs. That's the issue.
You're part of the Biggin Hill blockers?
Yes, Biggin Hill.
What's that?
We basically stop the installs of the electrical boxes that they are needed to then put a pole in that puts the camera up. So we block the electrical box installs. If there is a box, then we will then block the pole foundation, because obviously they need permits to that to dig into the ground. It's all legal. So if they wanted to put a box in right here.
I wonder how many of these like so-called electricity boxes for ULEZ cameras they've like blocked that actually just end up being like people's internet and stuff. You know?
We will stand here and they can't do the work.
Why do you feel so passionately about this?
Because I know there's an agenda.
What's the agenda?
Oh, agenda mentioned. Here we go, chat. Here we go.
The agenda is pay per mile next, then it's electric, then it's car sharing, then it's reduced private ownership of vehicles, then all these cameras were always going to be for the police. It's for surveillance. You think it's going to be used to prevent.
I love how she was like going on and on and on and on about like, you know, the way that like car ownership is going to get affected, as if that's like bad. Oh no, people are going to have to do car shares. Oh no, people are going to have to do shared ownerships of cars and won't be able to drive my big fucking SUV anymore. No, she's not saying she's okay for the police to use the cameras. She's saying the opposite of that. She's saying these cameras are only going to be used by the police. And it's like, well, There are already loads of cameras out there. Like London, we said it last night on Red Planet. London is one of the biggest, most surveilled cities in Europe. It's massive. Yeah, standard in the US, big for the UK. Yeah, Alejandro, yeah. Hey, Emmy, how you doing? Good to see you. Not owning a car or having to drive, that's my dream. I know. Excuse me. She started realizing halfway through what she said. It sounded good. She pivoted to talking about surveillance, yeah.
Crime, but it's actually going to be...
He's a sleepy baby boy, isn't he? Look at this baby boy.
Aww.
Baby boy. Baby boy. You know what I need for this? I need this, I need that one tune. Baby boy. You baby boy? He's looking at me like, why aren't you fucking petting me anymore, you piece of shit?
Linked to when we go to...
He doesn't like being pet behind the ears, Sleepy Catherite, I'm afraid.
Footprint, essentially a credit scoring system.
Loads of mayors around...
Wait, what did she say?
Actually going to be linked to when we go to digital ID with our digital currency, all linked to our carbon footprint, essentially a credit scoring system.
Credit score? We already have credit scores. What is she on about? She's trying to be like woke China virus. She didn't mean to say. She meant to say social credit score. That's what she was trying to say. Genuinely, she was trying to be like social credit store, China, all nonsense. Like
loads of mayors around England that go in low neighbourhoods, paper mile, clean air zones, whatever you want to call it, and it's a global push to stop people using their cars.
But is that not to do?
Is that not good? Why is that bad, dog? Yeah, I don't know, man. You're not really putting me off this idea. You're not really selling me on your plight. Super paranoid about digital currency, right? And that's good. It's good to be paranoid about digital currency. I think that's a good thing to be concerned about. But they're not concerned about it for the reasons that communists are concerned about it for, right? You know? Hey Zach, what's going on? Good to see you. Everybody, please go follow Zach. How you doing, buddy?
Like the effects of climate change. Like the climate change will be, if we want to get to net zero, people need to use public transport more.
Best if you believe that there's a climate change.
Fucking just so good, man. Like the mind on this guy. I hope like, and also like big up to my man from Politics Joe for not immediately bursting into laughter at him saying this. He's doing so well, this guy. Big up my man.
I do believe that, to be full disclosure.
If you look at the weather modifications that are going on at the moment worldwide, man-made is because it's these global elites that are causing.
Just immediately popping off into this incoherent nonsense. Just like, if you look at weather modification, global elites, it's all man-made. It's causing
the floods, Dubai, America.
That's true, man. That it's weather modification that caused the floods in Dubai.
Wherever you want, they're causing these floods to make it look like there's a problem.
People here...
Right, why are they doing that, dude? Why are they doing that? Klaus Schwab, the WEF. It's like 30 degrees Fahrenheit in Chicago days ago. The Midwest is rife with record-setting tornadoes right now. I know, yeah. It's all man-made, though, Alejandro. That's the thing. It's all man-made. You know? There was a coin shortage in America a few years ago. The digital currency people would not shut up during it, yeah. I do wonder what Chuds think of that monarch that is doing the Line projects with their justification to doing it is climate change. Bad idea. But that's why they say they want to do it. Wait, what's the Line project? Is that Dubai? The big line thing? I think I know what you mean. Just nuke the tornadoes. Just nuke the tornadoes.
I've been saying that the ULEZ cameras are the start of a 15-minute city, a climate lockdown. What do you say to that?
They could. The point is, anything can be used for good or bad. Simple as that.
Right. Okay. Well, okay. I'll...
That's the most politician response I've ever heard in my entire life. Could you imagine, like, being a politician? All you have to do is be like, well, there are bad things and there are good things, aren't there? But the things that I want are good things. Done. 50 grand a year. Flat paid for, you know?
Okay,
Central London flat paid for, like.
You're saying they could be used for a 15-minute city.
They could be used for
a climate lockdown.
And certainly, if Khan gets in again, that's the big worry. I think Susan is certainly more on the libertarian side of the argument, and would therefore be less likely to do it.
Bob, get on your side of the fence. Get on your side of the fence.
Someone. In their infinite wisdom, has then organised a Palestine protest to go past the US protest.
Carry on walking. Carry on walking.
Who's she? Sorry, is that an order? She's a liar and you're a Tory.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Like, these are the working class people of London. The people on this march are the working class people of London. And all these fucking losers are out here like, we're working class, we live in the middle of London in the cities. It's really gonna affect us if we have to pay a little bit of money because we've got massive cars. And then you've got like every single working class person in London on the pro-Palestine protest, like talking about shit that actually matters, you know? Shit that actually matters.
On ULEZ. Oh, I can't stand it. It's horrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
You've got common cause with these guys.
No, absolutely no. I mean, I support him. He doesn't realise that I'm with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's the thing is, he reads the Daily Mail and the Sun, so he's very uneducated.
Let's not antagonise him.
I'm not going to antagonise him, but I mean, he's made so many assumptions about who he thinks I am. How does he know who I am? He hasn't stopped to talk to me. So he assumes
That's the brains of it.
I must.
Susan always. That's the brains. That's the brains of him.
Nice.
The brains. This is the guy who's read loads of books.
Oh, that's funny as fuck, dude. I don't know what this guy is like talking about in terms of like the ULEZ. He might be like a really old school socialist, and he's like, yeah, the ULEZ is bad because you know, personal freedoms, etc., etc. Like, yeah, you could make tons of arguments like that about it, right? God, this is great. This is so good. Look at the fucking like indignancy. Like, this is the face of a guy who, whatever weird opinions he's got about the ULEZ, I don't fucking care, but he's been on a Palestine march all day, you know, literally protesting something that really actually matters, like truly matters. It's like the big issue of our time that everybody should be tuned into, everybody should be talking about it, and he's looking at these fucking losers wasting their time going like, oh, the ULEZ, oh, it's the worst thing ever. You know, telling him to like keep on working and walking and all this. It's just nonsense, innit?
Right.
We would all love to be driving around in 8,000 £8,000 compliant cars. It would be lovely. Simply cannot afford it.
He's right there, Husker.
I have literally had grown men crying in my therapy practice.
That's so good, dude. So good. £8,000, by the way, is not expensive for a car. Like, listen to what she's saying. Like, she's completely like oblivious to her audience, right? If you're running a business and you're a tradie and you're, I don't know, like, you're like, these people say that they're standing up for tradies, innit, right? Let's take a little look here. Average wage for plumber in London, right? Let's see. Right, £20 an hour, yeah? About 30 to 36 grand, roughly. That seems to be like the median, yeah? 30 to 36 grand. And you can get like a car financed 8 grand car, like ULEZ compliant. No problem. It's $11,000 American, yeah. Standing in for the tradies who conveniently didn't show up, right? Because they're not bothered about this, because they're like, oh, I'm just going to have to get a new car, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? £20 an hour sounds cheap. Yeah, it's because you live in Sweden, dog. You live in fucking Sweden. Like, plumbers in your country get paid like fucking £100 an hour or some shit. £20 an hour is twice as much as minimum wage. Which is really good. Touche. Yeah. Gotta remember where you are, you know what I mean? And what shit's like. £22 an hour is really good in the UK. Anyway.
Just read loads of books. Right.
Let's listen to what she's got to say.
To be driving around in £8,000 compliant cars. It would be lovely.
Like, what? I just don't understand what world that she thinks that everyone else is living in, and what world she lives in, and all this kind of stuff. Like, show me your car. Show me your car, right? And also, what do you do for a job? Does your job require you to drive into London on the regs? If no, then why are you asked?
Simply cannot afford it. You know, I have literally had grown men.
If your salary is like okay, let's go for like the lower end of what like a plumber might earn in London, yeah? If your salary is right, she's a therapist, so she works in a fucking home on Zoom. She works in her office on Zoom. That's what she does. That's what she does. She's not like driving around London to go and see clients or anything like that. Nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. This is just like a nice day trip for her to like, you know, LARP that she's doing some kind of activism or whatever. Like, it's actually really embarrassing. But let's say you're on the lower grade pay of a plumber in London. Yeah, that's like 30 grand, right? If you take 8 grand out of that, that means that you've still got like 22 grand a year to play with, and you could pay that car off in a year, maybe with a little bit of interest, and still manage to like live, right? You know, it's just like, I just don't understand. Like, I know that things are more expensive in London, so maybe my Manchester brain is saying like that's easily doable if you lived in Manchester, but like, okay, let's say maybe you don't pay it off in you know, finance on cars is not normally like a year, is it? It's normally like 5 years or 10 years, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude.
Men crying in my therapy practice because they have non-compliant vans.
I just know that she's lying about this. Can't
afford to change them, and their businesses are going to go out of business, and they're going, what do I do? Do I then pass this £12.50?
This is like not a thing to go to therapy for. The things that you go to therapy for are like, yeah, she's a terrible therapist. If she is a therapist, if she's telling the truth about being a therapist, she's a terrible therapist. Because therapists should be talking about like your inner child, your material conditions, your trauma, you know, harm that may have been done to you in your life, and how that causes you to behave towards yourself and towards others. You know, what you need to do to be fulfilled in your life. And she's apparently like consoling grown men who were crying about having to buy a bigger car, like a different car. One of her clients saw that and said that shit on TV. Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I know a shit-ass person who's also a therapist. This might track in limited situations. No, I agree. There are shit therapists out there. I do agree. I'm not saying that, like, there aren't therapists who exist, you know, who give bad advice and stuff like that. Like, I know that that's true, but it's like, it is embarrassing.
50 on to my customers as a charge to try and pay for this. Customers aren't going to like it, so what do I do?
Wait, how much money did she say? Do I pass this?
Do I then pass this £12.50 on to my customers?
Do I pass this £12.50 on to my customers? I don't know, man. Sounds like a normal business decision to make. Like, you just have to make a decision. That's all it is.
Charge to try and pay for this.
Sorry, my phone just went off.
Customers aren't going to like it, so what do I do?
So, for example, where I live, my village is actually small. It's on the boundary of the ULEZ zone.
My village is small. It's on the boundary of the ULEZ zone. By the boundary, I think she means, like, probably, you know. She probably means, like, it's a good 3 miles. A good 3 miles out. What is the ULEZ zone in London? Should we have a look? Let's have a look at what it is. Ultra low emission zone. Let's take a look at what the ultra low emission zone is in London. Let's take a look at the actual Transport for London low emission zone. This is the official Transport for London website, low emission zone. Image. Oh, I can't see shit there. Hang on. How do I get to, like, the actual, like, website? Yeah. Where and when? Right. So here's the map. Right, this is the map. Right. So the ultra low emission zone. So she lives, like, out. If she says that she lives out here, yeah. Oh, I live just on the border of this ultra low emission zone. Do you know what I mean? It's like, good for fucking you, man. Good for fucking you. What it probably is, it probably just means that they're upset that they have to pay, like, £12.50 to go and see their mate in, like, Mitcham or something. Do you know what I mean? Like they live in Redhill in Surrey, and it's like, oh, I wanted to go and see one of my friends in Sidcup. Or, who am I kidding? They probably don't have friends there. Like, wanted to go see one of my friends in Twickenham or Hounslow, and then, I had to pay £36, even though I've got, like, a massive fucking car and it guzzles gas, and I have to pay, like, you know, surely buying a car that is better in terms of, like, how much fuel it consumes. Surely you're saving yourself, like, double the money if you get, like, a better car, right? Because you're not paying for all that fucking petrol as well. Right? How you doing, Electricity? It's good to see you. Welcome in. So, you know, it's a big zone, and that's all it is. People are just mad that, like, they're gonna have to drive less. You know, just get over it, dude. Literally get over it. If this means less cars in this entire area, I think that's, like, better for everybody. I think it's better for absolutely everybody. You know?
Our infrastructure can't even cope with the amount of people that are in our village. It is only
You got a tattoo today? Nice. Good for you. I'm pretty good, thank you.
But I think our radius is about 1.5 miles, 1 mile. That's how big our village is. We don't have good public transport links. It quite often gets terminated if they're running late and either divert.
Damn, dude. Sounds like you need to support nationalising fucking, you know, public transport as well. Which Transport for London, like, kind of is, right? So maybe you need to support Sadiq Khan more in his, like, expansion of nationalising, well, not nationalising, but, you know, at least locally, you know, locally bringing transport into public ownership and expanding that. Sounds like that's what you should probably, like, do. Norway focuses heavily on public transport, yeah. All the Scandies, innit? You know what I mean? All them Scandi countries, they got this shit going on, and that's good. Sitting in traffic with a running engine is not cheap unless you got a modern car, a compliant one that switches the engine off when it stops. Right, that too. So, you know.
That's always happened. It will always continue to happen. He's not expanding public transport in the outer boroughs of London, so therefore we're not getting increased public transport links. We have one high street of shops. That's not.
Bro, if you live in the outer boroughs of London, you're earning a bit of dough. You know what I mean? You're earning enough dough to be like not concerned about what costs you have to talk about. I wish Bradford had something like Transport for London. Right, this is the thing. This is why I'm really looking forward to the B network, you know. Andy Burnham's bus communism. There isn't really going to be bus communism, but it's going to be better than what we've got already. Slightly. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, at least that'll be good. You can just get like one ticket and get on a fucking bus, have a little day trip around. You know what I mean?
Not our full amenities. We have one little supermarket, a handful of shops, and we live in the valleys. So half.
Oh, it sounds so hard, man. Sounds so hard living in like a beautiful suburb of London. You know, sounds like you don't really need to like go out into London that often, dude.
Our village isn't even on a bus route. So, and they live at the top of a hill to get down a hill to get up the other side. That infrastructure isn't. They're quite happy to build more houses or flats, but we have 2 doctors, 2 schools to support the outer area and the people that live in that area.
Okay, let's give this lady the benefit of the doubt, right? All those things actually really affect her, and it's really bad, and it affects the community, and it affects the village and all this stuff, right? The problem that you have with all that stuff is the Tory government, actually, right? Like, yeah, the local council is going to have some responsibility for those kinds of things, but if you're talking about like doctors' surgeries, if you're talking about like local investment, like in terms of like, you know, bringing shops and other stuff to where you live and all that kind of stuff, that is a complete and direct result of austerity. Like if your high street is shutting down, like if you live in somewhere like fucking Bolton or Warrington or something like that, and your high street's all fucked up because like everything gets centralized and you know, businesses have had to shut down because they can't, because no one can buy anything because everyone's fucking poor because the cost of living and austerity and all that shit. You know, then yeah, the issue that you have is with capitalism, and the issue that you have is with the Tory government. You know? I wonder if it's like hard to become a doctor for complex social reasons. I mean, it's difficult to become a doctor, but then on top of that as well, doctor surgeries are getting like routinely privatized, and government NHS contracts have been given to friends of Tory peers. You know. So you know the problem that she has is with the Tory government, but I bet this fucking idiot is going to be there going like, yeah, vote for Susan Hall, she's great. My hybrid only needs like a fraction of the gas and we brought it used. Yeah, you see, even like something like that, right? You know what I mean? Like, when I had a car, and I had a smart car, right? When I had a car, and it was dead cheap for gas. But even that was expensive. I was like, damn it, fucking, it's ridiculous, right? Always having to like top up the gas, and like the gas prices were going up and shit like that. And I was like, fucking hell, I don't know. Like, even though this car is really good on gas, like the petrol was always the pain in the ass. Any reason to spend less petrol is like a good reason, right?
I'm curious, see if ULEZ has been introduced with a massive infrastructure project, as in they made public transport for your village top-notch, like absolutely top quality. They introduced newer doctors. Yeah, it's hypothetical.
But they're not going to, and we know it's hypothetical. But they're not going to.
Say that did happen. I'm curious, would you object to ULEZ so much?
Yes, I would still object to ULEZ. I object.
Right, so all those things don't actually matter that much. Those aren't the reasons actually that you're objecting to ULEZ. Okay, gotcha, dude.
To ULEZ on the basis that there's enough counter scientific research done to show that.
Okay, now she's becoming like incoherent. Now she's as soon as she's questioned like a tiny bit on what she actually truly believes, it's become nonsense, actually.
The air quality hasn't improved since ULEZ has been introduced, and the air quality has always been good in these outer boroughs that are actually in the countryside. We have a lot of farmland and a lot of farmers, and don't forget they're attacking the farmers as well. They're trying to pay off the farmers to kill off their crops. Why? Why do they?
What are you talking about? This is completely unrelated. Now she started to get into like QAnon, fucking late Gen X boomer Facebook nonsense. Isn't the money raised from this to help with infrastructure? Wait, raised from what? Who's raising money?
Why do they not want farmers? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, the ULEZ money. Oh, yeah. No, it goes into the council. Yeah, that's right. No, that's right. Yeah. When people have to pay like the ULEZ stuff, that goes into the council's fucking budget. No, yeah, absolutely. That is exactly what that is. The air quality out there is better because there's less cars. I know, it's so funny.
Excellent. Right. Excellent.
Let's start.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner that I want rid of Cam. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. I can't drive for free wherever I go.
It's so fucking stupid. I can't get over how stupid it is. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner, but I live on the outer boroughs of London, where it's like really expensive to live. Oh man, I just can't I can't be doing with it, dude. They're not in reality. This isn't like real. Like, not protesting over like a real thing. It's false consciousness.
And vote for Susan Hall. Maybe.
Yeah, you know, they're all saying that they should vote for this Susan Hall, and like Susan Hall is she's not gonna address infrastructure issues in fucking, you know, wherever the fuck that lady lives.
It's because I'm a Londoner that I want you, let's go. I think I'm done. Thank you very much, ladies.
Fucking mental, dude. All right, let's take a little look at this. It's time to get more mad. This video is only 7 minutes. This video says first-time buyers have it too good. And this is from that progressive property channel that we checked out a couple of weeks ago with Kevin McDonnell, just lying to people and telling people just to get in debt. And he's out here and he's saying first-time buyers have it too good. Right? First-time buyers have it too good. They have it too good. They have it too good. Oh, big yawn. First-time buyers, they have it too good. I don't know about you, chat, but if I were to buy a house, I would be a first-time buyer. And, well, I mean, that's the problem. That's the first problem. Like, I just would not be able to buy a house on my own. There's just no way. I don't know if it's from watching your stuff, but I keep getting ads for these courses now. No, Woodborg, no. Well, listen, you know, it's important. You got to sign up to their course so you can learn how to be a good property investor, right? You got to learn how to be a good property investor. You got to learn how to, you know, buddy, that is, you can't, he wants to, no, you can't have this. This is, he's interested in, like, my wrappers from my fucking Aldi knockoff Mars bar. You can't have any of that, bro. It's not good for you. I'm going to put it in the bin because he's just going to start messing with it, right? I'll be right back. Right. It was actually time for his dinner, so that's probably why he was so excited. He was so excited by the sound of crinkly plastic because he thought, it's time for my dinner. Excuse me. First time buyers get slightly less stamp duty if you're buying something above 300 grand, I think, and potentially slightly better rates. Well, yeah, and that's good because it means that you're like, you know, it kind of incentivizes people to want to stay in a property for longer and not like just do house flipping and, you know, commodifying a property and shit like that. They've got it too good. I should be able to get multiple mortgages on multiple properties because I'm a vile land baron. That's what this is going to be about, right?
Welcome to Mark My Words. I'm going to do a news roundup today. I've got an article here from Property News UK saying we must
helps people get houses, right?
First-time buyers. Well, I think they probably have got a point. There has been a massive focus on getting people on the first rung of the ladder because for many, many years, decades and decades, there's been an assumption that first-time buyers prop the market up and then the people on the next rung and the next rung can move. And that keeps the market moving and economic growth moving because the construction and property market is one of, if not the biggest industry in the UK, so it has a big effect.
Okay, they talk about the property ladder, don't they? But what's the ladder like leaning against? What's the ladder leaning against? You know, oh, we're going to keep going up the property ladder until, well, what's the goal here? I don't understand. Until you live in a fucking, like, mansion that you don't need because you're, like, 60 years old and all your kids have moved out and they can't even afford to have fucking grandkids for you. Do you know what I mean? Mental. They started a new program in Canada for tax-deductible savings account dedicated to a first-time buyer down payment. Ladder sounds a lot like a pyramid. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does. Yeah. Wish my area had that. Might actually be a homeowner if we get enough of that over here. Well, you say that, but house prices, oh boy. It's not good. Mortgages are not good. Remember an article here about a person in Stockholm that legit got an article written about them for not successfully slipping a central apartment. Let's go. Brilliant. Good. Suffer, actually.
Now, this big focus on first-time buyers for many, many years has led to schemes like Help to Buy. Younger people, first-time buyers, can buy often flats for a smaller deposit, often 5%. But what it has meant is that they end up buying a flat that's maybe worth 160 for maybe 180 or 190 because they're paying a smaller deposit. That sort of pushes them into the deal, but in 10 years' time, they might end up selling the flat and it hasn't really gone up in value. So I'm not sure there's great benefit in that, other than if people desperately want to get on the ladder and aren't as bothered about property price growth, which I'm sure lots of people are. And certainly as they get on in life, they realise sort of what is right, what isn't right, and focus more on the stuff that goes up in value. Do we need to be focusing on first-time buyers quite as much? Well, first-time buyers have become older. There are something like...
You don't need to tell me, dude. They're like, fuck knows. Fuck knows when I'm gonna be able to, like, buy my first house. Fuck knows if I'm ever gonna be able to buy my first house. Like, I was saying this, I think, like, a couple of weeks ago. It's like, the only time I'm probably gonna be able to, like, live in my own house is, like, one of my sets of parents dies. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's just so grim. That's just, like, so incredibly grim. Because how old am I going to be by then? Like, 50? Great, dude. I want to fucking leave this country by then. Like...
9.5 million 29 to 40-year-olds across the nation, accounting for just 25% of the population above 29 and above. I think first-time buyers are more in that bracket now. I think in years gone by, they might have been in their early 20s and then they get married, but you'd get lots of 40-year-old first-time buyers now. I think it is important not to just focus on that demographic, because what you're encouraging is building of lots of flats and very, very small properties, which provides more supply at that end of the market. But of course, in the next rung and the next rung up, I think there's probably more of a shortage than there is for the first-time buyers, which then creates bottlenecks in the system. When we say we built something like 200,000 properties this year and we need something like 300,000, that doesn't take into account the type and the size of the property. So I do think it's important that we break those targets down, and I don't think we have been doing that. So that's quite a big thing. You'll notice in some areas, the lower end properties, when we get into sort of bad times, as we've had maybe more of the last couple of years, the lower end properties have probably gone down more than the middle market properties, because there is more supply of those. Next story is about the construction industry. This has come from Sky News. It's saying the construction industry returns to growth after months of decline.
So this is just like, this isn't about... Oh my god, look at this last section. Do we need high quality houses? Okay, we're going to watch the rest of this because it's going to get progressively worse. Reed agreed to give the bank a shitload of money over 30 years, our home in 2018, and I figure we bought a coffin, not giving it up now. Right, yeah, no, for real. Like, you know, that's what mortgage means. It's like death gauge or something, or like death rate. It's French, innit? Like more. La mort. Like the dead number or something. I don't know. I don't quite know what it translates to, but it's like death something, isn't it? Death loan. The loan that you like never pay off until you're nearly dead, and then like you get to enjoy that life of like not having a loan for like a bit, you know. Le gage du mort, right? Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just wild. It's just fucking wild.
Well, I've seen lots of subbies, lots of builders, lots of main contractors go bust over the last 3 years. I would say the main reason is because materials have gone up so much. The cost of construction has gone up maybe a third on average. Lots of these builders will have been in contract and they'll have been stuck. They won't have been able to put their price up because they don't have fluctuations clauses in their contracts often. They've got a fixed price in terms of the project that they're delivering, so it does somewhat scupper them. So lots and lots have ended up going bust. According to this article, they are now growing again. The Purchasing Managers Index has now risen to just over 50, and any score above 50 represents growth in the sector. I think we've been waiting for this. I also think since Christmas, the expectation for future interest rates has...
Why does this guy's face look familiar? Has he been on TV?
Come back quite a lot. Therefore, mortgage rates that people are able to obtain have been better. I think that's given the market a bit of a lift. properties are selling again now, and because of that, I think the construction industry will benefit because they'll end up with more jobs.
Like, if you think about the way that he's talking about this stuff, it really is like the crisis of capitalism, right? The crisis of capitalism is that, like, when everything stagnates and things get very expensive, it gets very difficult for like anything to happen ever. So, you know, all the while people are like dying and going homeless and all this kind of shit because vile fucking landlords are just kicking them out of their fucking houses and all this shit, right? So it's like, you know, death pledge. That's what mortgage means. Yeah, death pledge. Yeah. Spooky stuff. That's right. I knew it was something to do with that. Where was I? Yeah, you know, this guy's he's talking about all this stuff, and he's talking about how, like, oh, you know, like, hopefully now people are buying more homes, and that means that, you know, the construction market is going to go, they're going to go up, it's going to be good, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, this is just why capitalism needs to end, because it's like nothing happens. Just nothing happens. Like, it's just pure pain and, like, drudgery and, like, constantly, like, plodding on towards nothing. You know what I mean? Like, endless profit, endless fucking infinite growth. It's just completely unsustainable.
The industry, whilst not mended, is probably on the way to being mended. Okay, I've got an article.
Like, that's why, like, he's not even like, he's like literally like, oh, you know, the construction industry is probably going to be good, and then he finishes it off with, well, the construction industry's kind of mended, but not really. Like, good job, capitalism. Yeah, the free market really, like, working wonders there, you know?
Article here on Property Mark, which is regulating members to make sure that consumers know how to access a professional agent. And they're talking about letting agents and landlords who disregard safety and licensing laws increasingly facing action from authorities. I suppose this is not a new thing. You know, there are all these naughty landlords and naughty agents out there. I think the media quite like that narrative. I think there are a lot less of them now, to be
Shut the fuck up! You're wrong!
To be perfectly honest. They're talking about 2 here that have been booted.
What's this he's going to talk about?
Narrative. I think there are a lot less of them now, to be perfectly honest. They're talking about 2 here that have been booted out. Key Lettings and Property Management has been expelled by the Property Ombudsman after it refused to pay £1,100 of an adjudicated award. They've obviously had something found against them, and they have
refused to pay £1,100 of an adjudicated award. So an adjudicated award means a judge found them in breach of some kind of property law, some kind of housing law, that they probably owed, you know, a tenant, like a couple of tenants, right? And because they refused to pay it, they got the ombudsman involved, and, you know, they got fucking slammed. Good. I hope they suffer. I hope they never go into business again. Like, fuck them, honestly. This is like a rare case, though, because most people just do not go through the ombudsman at all. They just don't go through it.
Paid out on that basis. And then there's Enfield Council has prosecuted 2 agencies and a director who broke property licensing laws. I think this is probably more of a marketing advertorial for Property Mark. Pretty sort of low-level stuff, really. This article.
So my man is so concerned about, like, you know, getting all the nitty gritty about the construction industry, like spending like a whole fucking ass minute, like being like, oh, is the construction industry coming back? And like, he's reading this stuff and he's going, well, I don't really think there's that many bad landlords, and, you know, this is just advertising stuff. Shut up, dude.
The article is about brownfield planning policy, which must promote quality homes. Earlier on, I was talking about housing targets and the numbers of houses or flats that we create every year, or new dwellings. Maybe we did about 200,000 over the last year. The target is 300,000. Keir Starmer says he's going to create an even bigger target when he gets in, of 1.5 million over 5 years, which is 300,000 a year. This article is talking about how we shouldn't just be focused on the overall number, but we should be focused on the types of properties being built in the right areas, which of course
yes,
is
that's
true.
very
and
true.
Also quality, so they need to be pleasant to live in, good daylight, and you need to focus on the internal layout of the properties, which is true. But you know, daylight is already considered as part of the planning process. We don't need to introduce more problems. And
bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? My man is here like, yeah, daylight's already brought into most of the planning process. There is literally a development in Manchester that was opposed by residents in the neighborhood because it would block the daylight in their already constructed homes. Like, yeah, you can have considerations for daylight in a new development, but if you're not considering the way in which your new development affects the daylight of homes in the neighborhood it's being built in, then that is also an issue. Like, shut up, bro.
And bottlenecks in the planning process. We've got plenty of those as it is. Planning officers get involved all the time in the internal layout of properties. It says it's right that local authorities should be encouraged to meet housing delivery targets and that there should be consequences for those that fail in this duty. However, it's vital to avoid incentivising substandard developments with overly rigid rules. Well, that's true. However, housing targets are being removed because Rishi was running scared by some by-election defeats. So lots of properties have to be built to a price. People can't afford to live in Poundbury. We need the volume house builders to build stuff that people can actually afford. So whilst all this stuff is...
Or, here's an idea. Landlords just like, put your house on the fucking market and bring the housing market prices down so more people can afford to fucking get a gaff. You know, that would be an idea, wouldn't it?
It's nice, as long as it's got enough daylight, as long as it meets the building regulations. I'm not sure much of this is really going to make that much difference. And I think lots of planning departments, central government, Department for Levelling Up, Housing and Communities and builders. I just
can't imagine like the kind of person who consumes this content as part of their like daily content stuff. You know, like they wake up in the morning and they're like, yeah, I can't wait to see what Mark at Progressive Property is saying about first-time buyers. First-time buyers have it so good. Great video, Mark. I am down doing a 3-day training masterclass with Kevin McDonnell on the 22nd to 24th of April. Many thanks, Robert. It's just a load of shit. It's just a load of shit. Anyway, chat, listen. It's been fun, but I gotta leave you. I'm actually like flabbergasted that we got to 3 hours so quickly. But I'll be back tomorrow. Don't you worry about it. We're doing more streaming tomorrow. Better yet, count all rent paid towards the cost of the gaff and then give whatever left of the mortgage to the tenant. Yes! Abso-fucking-lutely. You better believe it. You better believe it. Another good one. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's been really, really good. Listen, I always shout out Sweet Beat. Excuse me, when she's here in the chat. And now I have an opportunity to raid her. She's playing Stardew Valley. Fucking yeah. Sweet Beat. Alright, we're gonna go raid her. Chat, I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We'll do more streaming tomorrow. We'll do more hanging out tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for all the donos. Thank you for the raid, Dan. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for just hanging out. It's been real fun. We've had a little bit of a laugh at some of these fucking QAnon weird British fuckos. We've got mad at that landlord guy, and yeah, we had an unofficial hype train. I think it's been a pretty productive stream. I think that's all I need to say, isn't it? Check out the socials. Check out Red Planet. Make sure you get me on the link tree there, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Yeah, stay excellent to each other. Mwah. Peace, 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 peace.